Good evening, folks, and welcome to this friendly conversation between Matt Forney and Jim Goad. I've been asked to host a platform for them to have a debate on. Now, I'll tell you my personal opinion, my hope, that I think there's some apologies that should be made on both sides. I'd like to see them shake hands and make friends again. We'll see whether or not that happens. My goal here is to simply provide a platform where both of them will have their say, because I know both these men in real life. I have respect for both of them, and I'm just trying to moderate things. So don't expect too much from me. We are going to start with Forney. Forney, could you please tell us how this whole argument began? It was an article that you wrote, wasn't it?
No, it was not an article. It was a live stream from about 3 months ago, I believe. Jim here wrote an article for Tacky's magazine, in which he criticized the alt-right for being too moralistic in its denunciations of degeneracy, and I took exception to that because, to me, his argument seemed to be like an intellectualized version of Mr. Mackey's "don't take political sides," okay? And I explained in the stream that in order to fix the problems of society, the what Jim calls the moralism is absolutely necessary. That is my argument distilled. There were some other points flanking off it, but that's the core essence of it.
Well, I mean, what is the alt-right, Matt? Number one, here's the thing. I'll go get into a little history here. Matt, you become a Christian?
I am more open to Christianity, yes.
Open to Christianity. So you believe in the Christian God?
I've realized the value of Christianity. That's a good way of putting it. I'm not definite on many questions yet.
Do you need to believe in things that make sense?
I need to believe in things that make sense, yes.
Okay. Why would a perfect God get angry? This is a question I've asked everyone. They attack me. Because and I think one of the things that bothered me about the podcast was you seem to think I was acting in bad faith or whatever it seems. And notice I always couch it with seems because I don't know what's in people's minds. It'd be nice to see you, but that's a whole other thing. My whole thing with Christianity, I was raised under it.
Let's just clarify this for the audience. Forney doesn't have a webcam. He hasn't had a webcam in a long time, and we usually don't use webcams at all for this.
I've just been accused of being a Jew. Oh, great.
Welcome.
Anyway. But you know what, Matt? I believe you sincerely believe what you're saying, although I've seen you morph like a chameleon over the years. But so I might question whether you actually have any sincere beliefs or you follow what you believe is relevant. My whole thing with Christianity is absolutely sincere. I was raised Catholic, 12 years of Catholic school. I had this radical conversion around age 14. There was a nun in freshman year of high school where she was talking about Our Lady of Fatima, making all these prophecies about the end of the world. And it sounded pretty terrifying. So I thought, well, God, I better read the Bible. And there was one Easter weekend, my freshman year of high school, I read the Bible. I was like, holy fuck, you have to be a fanatic. And I became a believer. I was such a believer that from like age 14 to 16, now think about this, age 14 to 16, I jerked off once. So I was pretty hardcore. Even the nuns at school thought I was maybe taking it a little too far. But I do tend to take things to the extreme. The problem, it was the same problem I had with leftism and the same problem I had with Santa Claus. I kept reading the Bible, and there were things that just didn't make sense. One thing, I guess maybe I'm a little OCD. I got obsessed with 3 different Gospels that talked about the unpardonable sin. If you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, which theologians thought meant attributing acts of God to Satan, you never get forgiven. You go to hell forever. And hell, according to the Bible, seems like a literal place that you go to. But if you call on the name of the Lord, you shall be saved. That's Romans 10:13. What's happening? I say, fuck you, Holy Spirit, save me, Lord. That's insoluble. Nothing, those cancel each other out. In the Old Testament, Leviticus, repeatedly God says, and this is me being autistic, actually taking the Bible at its word, because I've heard people use autistic in arguments as someone who's beating them in an argument. But autistic in the sense, God's saying this law is eternal. It will never be revoked. This is another one, about slaughtering pigs or whatever, never be revoked. Then along comes the New Testament and it's revoked. Did God lie? Then he's not perfect. Did he not know it was going to be revoked? Then he's not God. And I kept coming up with this question about why would a perfect God get angry? Not when examining Christianity, but Islam. So there was a lot of, I mean, during the Bush years, Islam was kind of the big scare, and Islam's still a huge issue, probably huger than it was then, because whatever's going on in the Middle East isn't the problem. It's Muslims coming here. I'm reading the Quran. I was like, why the fuck is he pissed off so much? It doesn't make any sense. God runs the table. He's the casino owner. Yes, he creates everything. He allows everything to happen. Does he not expect it? Could he have prevented it? So sincerely, this is not trying to be cool or ironic. I think you pull that little string and the entire sweater of Christianity and Western monotheism falls apart.
Okay, but
one thing I need to clarify, because I always get accused of being an atheist. I'm not. That's just as dumb. I think the bravest position is to say, I don't know.
What does any of this have to do with the issue at hand?
Well, I think it went to Christianity, and that's where a lot of the moralism of I didn't attack the alt-right, I attacked kind of the trad guys.
Well, most of this moralism is, first of all, there have been way too many arguments in this corner lately between Protestants and Catholic, all these completely pissy, irrelevant, distracting arguments. On the whole, the fact is that heathens and Protestants and Catholics and Hindus all agree on the basics of natural law. Everybody acknowledges natural law, and I think the moralism of the alt-right, natural law sums it up. Ancient Greeks would largely agree with the morality being pushed by the alt-right.
Well, the ancient Greeks didn't last either. I think the problem is, and maybe this is Nietzsche, and I've read a little bit of Nietzsche. I've read H.L. Mencken's Guide to Nietzsche. It's the public moralism. It's the chest thumping and the finger pointing. Over my life, and once you open your ears and your eyes, you get attuned to it. The people that are thumping their chest usually are bastards, and they're compensating, and they're projecting, and they're trying to harm someone else. Now, in most moral systems, I mean, I think for the most part, yeah, I fuck up, and I'm an ethical person. In my experience, the ones that are up on the soapboxes, pounding their chest and pointing fingers at others, usually are bastards and nasty. And they're usually trying to get other people in trouble and get them harmed. Because if you can tag someone as evil, you can fucking kill them. In most moral systems, murder is considered wrong, but not if you do it to an evil person.
I would consider this some of the remnants of Puritanism in the United States.
Well, you're anti-Puritic.
The Puritan streaks in the United States are very deeply embedded, and they are something that come up on the left and the right.
I got this in Catholicism, like 12 years. I got the same shit, maybe more hardcore than any Protestants I've ever known.
But you went to the American Catholic Church, correct?
Yeah.
Then it would be also infected with Puritanism, same way that multiculturalism infects Canada.
I don't know. I think the Catholics came later and probably evolved in their own communities, so I'm not sure. It's moralism in general. Ethical behavior, I think, is almost separate from moralism. One is done for a social purpose and to achieve social status on someone else's neck. Acting ethically, those people, the best people I've ever known, they never get publicly moral because they don't need to. I think it's compensatory. And at this point, calling someone a degenerate, it's about on the level of calling someone a racist. It's meaningless, and it's a way to make yourself look good. But I'm open to any other argument.
So are you angry at Forney because he used the term? Period?
Well, he called me stupid, and he called me a coward. And I'm neither stupid nor a coward. I've never backed down from anything. Stupid? Well, I think I'm defensive about that. I was explaining this to you last night, Davis. As everyone knows, I've come from a really fucked up family, and my siblings were out by the time I was 6. Brother got murdered a couple years after that. The other brother and sister went elsewhere. So I was pretty much an only child. The only thing I had as an identity was I was smart. They told me I was extremely smart when I was a kid. And I usually like to prove that to people who call me stupid. So that kind of has been an inspiration here too. Here's what I'm talking about history. Matt, I believe, Matt, am I wrong? Correct me here. When you went on your Syracuse to Portland thing to find yourself or to become a writer way back, you did reach out and email me, yes?
Jim, I was going to come into this being insulting, and people who know me know I can be very insulting when I want to be.
Yeah.
But right now I'm going to offer you an olive branch. About a couple of years ago, I debated a guy by the name of Beardson.
Hey, hold on one second. Hey, Beckloff, I didn't say atheist. Already made that clear. Don't be dumb. Go ahead.
Yeah, I debated this guy named Beardson Beardley. If you want to find it, you can just.
Oh, I heard it. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'm telling the audience. Okay, I debated this guy named Beardson Beardley, and we've since buried the hatchet. Things are cool between us. But he said something during that debate that I was thinking about here. He said that the mere fact that he got me to agree to a debate means that he, quote, fucking won. Because he, in the context of that debate, I was the big E-celeb, and he was the up-and-coming, guy who was not as well known. So by getting me to agree to appear on a stage with him on equal footing, I was giving him credibility and an audience that he otherwise would not have had. Jim, you've done the exact same thing here. The only difference is that I didn't contact you. You demanded to have this stream. Okay, no matter what happens tonight,
Matt,
you already lost. You lost this. You lost this by virtue of even demanding it.
Let's get into the history. Well, you know what you're good at, Matt? You know what you're good at? I'm not done. You're good at taking other people's ideas, just like you did with Beardson.
I'm done. I haven't offered the olive branch yet. The olive branch is simply this.
Oh.
If we agree to end the debate now, and then Aurini can delete it afterwards, I won't shit talk you. I won't criticize you. I won't even mention your name anymore. And we can just go away peacefully. No bad blood. We don't have to like each other. We can just go away. Because
Matt,
guess what?
The audience would be very disappointed.
Your reputation has already been diminished by virtue of you agreeing to this.
Well, okay. That shows that you have low self-esteem, Matt. That shows you have low self-esteem. Because if I'm punching down, that shows you have low self-esteem, which I agree with, and you should. If you want to get into insulting, if you think I'm afraid of being insulted by you and getting into an insult war, you're wrong. I'd like to have a nice discussion, but I don't think that would look good for you.
Your messages and your public behavior say otherwise.
And the fact
that you're even here. Again, dude, you're the famous one in this equation. I
don't care about fame, Matt. I don't care about trends like you. Don't care about fame. I don't care about relevancy. I don't care about that.
You talk about fame an awful lot. You're reminding me that I'm a nobody. You keep talking about
when did I say you were nobody? When did I say you were nobody? When did I say you were nobody?
I admitted that I was a nobody, and you said in private messages, at least you admit you're a nobody.
Well, yeah, okay. You offered it, and I'm like, well, okay. I didn't call you that.
I have introspection, Jim. I'm introspective.
Yes, you're very self-aware, Matt. You're very self-aware. You're aware of how it looks when you pose as a pickup artist. You're extremely self-aware of how that looks to people.
That's a lie, Jim. I have never once claimed to be a pickup artist. And you claim to have followed my career. I've apparently been living rent-free in your head for years. And you're stealing someone else's idea. So we can get into the history. I'd like to go through this because this is why I find... It's not an idea. It's a fact.
Oh, you're living rent-free. Matt, you live in my head as a source of endless comedy. And that's...
Doesn't matter. I'm still in your head. Okay.
Okay, well,
I shouldn't even be a
Matt. Don't interrupt me. Let me talk. Davis, can I talk? Davis.
All right.
Can I? Okay. So I'm the one you're living in my mind. Okay, have I ever written a word about you, Matt? Except these tweets over the last week, anywhere, ever.
You admitted that you've known about me for years. You admitted that you've been making fun of me privately for years.
Right. As I search my name and I find you writing about me. Any other questions? Have I ever written a word about you?
Have you noticed that people like Jordan Peterson and Mike Cernovich don't do what you're doing? They don't randomly engage people who are much smaller than them. They don't hunt down their critics online constantly.
I don't like Mike Cernovich or Jordan Peterson, so I'm not sure where you're going with this. Can we get into the history of why I find
that you have violated the most fundamental rule of the internet by agreeing to this. It's called don't feed the trolls.
I don't care about internet rules or any of that. I don't care about memes. I care about what makes sense.
You seem to care an awful lot because you've been people have been dunking on you the entire week, and you have been personally responding to them and stalking them.
Stalking? No, it's your Glon friend has been coming onto my SoundCloud and leaving comments. And
no. I've got the stats, bro. You have been listening to his podcast for 2 months.
Matt, do you want to put up do you want to put up $10,000 over whether he left comments on me or Because I looked at. I have not been listening. Watched his page because he liked my ex co-hosts. It looks like he took his side, and that was the only thing. I've listened to maybe 3 total minutes, and that made me his number one user. Yes, I'm obsessed with you, Matt. So, have I ever written a word about you? Because we'll get into everything you've written about me and said about me, Matt. How about that?
I've got the screen share right here. You were listening to him back in June? Yeah.
Because he followed Keith. Because he took Keith's side, and that's why.
And you thought that was important enough to listen to his podcast, about 6 times?
I visited the page to see what Keith was doing.
Yeah, and in total you've listened to it like 6 times, according to these.
You want to put up a polygraph and $10,000? Because here's the thing, Matt. Answer the question: have I ever written a word about you?
It doesn't matter whether you have. The fact that
okay, let's get into. I know about you because you fucking reached out to me. You didn't answer that question. Did you send me an email? I have never once
reached out to you.
You have sent me a letter.
That's something else you lied about, by the way.
Okay, I was warned that you will lie and you will believe it, Matt. Let's go through what you've written about me, because you can't cite anything I've ever written about you. Let's go through what you've written about me.
Now,
okay?
your claim you made was that I contacted you back in 2012 when I was hitchhiking to ask you for advice.
I remember it, and I remember thinking I didn't answer. That's all.
You didn't. I did not do that. I have never.
I was told the true lie.
Private conversation. It's when you have reached out to me. The first time that happened was 3 years ago, when you offered me a free copy. You slid into my Twitter DMs because you were name searching yourself. Then I told me to email you. I did, and you offered me a free copy of the Gigantic Book of Sex.
Let's ask this one more time, man. Have you ever seen me write a word about you?
It doesn't matter.
You're lying about the fact that because I remember that's the first time I heard about.
How about you? Okay? I got a screen share, Glenn.
Matt, please stop interrupting because I got to get into it. What you've written about me.
Well, just a second. Aren't we all in agreement that you haven't written about Forney? There's no disagreement there.
Matt has this thing where he's written tons about me. He did a 90-minute podcast about me, but he wants to project that on me being
obsessed with quoted you many a time. You're prominent. Sorry? Of course he's written about you.
Right. Okay. So here's all the shit he's written about me. I've only found him to be a joke. Okay. So if he wants to be like a girl, oh, you're the one obsessed with me. Go ahead, Matt. Here's what you've written about. And you've written a lot of positive things about me, none of which I'm here to dispute.
So I'm ready
because they're all true.
Back on all this.
Because they're all true. Please don't interrupt, man. You're not charming. Just stay back and listen. You started your shit magnet thusly. Jim Goad is a man. That's a very cackly laugh. Jim Goad is a man I admire and desperately don't want to become.
Where's the lie?
Matt, well, I'm telling you, there's no danger of you becoming me. You'll never become talented. You'll never become funny. And a woman will never fall in love with you. You cited me in a Sweden speech.
You were calling me earlier. You said I was an unfuckable ogre, and you were contacting my ex-girlfriends to find dirt on me.
I said a woman will never fall in love with you. What's wrong with that?
Because you disproved it by claiming that you contacted an ex-girlfriend of mine.
None of them have ever claimed to be in love with you.
I've got messages from her that claim otherwise. I've got an entire dossier.
That's fine. I don't think there's a danger of a woman ever falling in love with you, Matt.
I'm doing all this.
Go ahead.
You're a virgin. No woman loves you. It's like you're a virgin. It's like I'm not a virgin. Like this is a really cheap internet argument.
Right. Okay. Fine. Let me go through the things he said, and then we'll get on. Okay.
They seem to like to
why, and I'll explain why I find Matt so unintentionally funny.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like that right there is not a valid. It's one of those internet bait arguments. But
what are we talking about? He's saying I'm obsessed with him. I can prove that he's the one that's been talking about me, and I didn't get involved until he did a 90-minute thing about me.
You were just saying no woman will ever fall in love with you. Well,
yes.
Matt Forney's dated a number of women. Oh, well, they weren't in love with you. Well, where's the gold medal that you get when a woman actually falls in love with you? There's no objective measure of that. It's one of those bait arguments.
And there's no objective measure of whether or not he's going to become me either. I'm just responding. So he has on his links. It's a blog and site that he visits regularly.
Just like, can you hear Goad, Matt?
I cannot hear him. He appears to have dropped off.
Okay, so Jim's frozen.
Apparently the gods have spoken.
All right, Matt. So earlier, Jim Goad was arguing that moral puritanicalism. He was arguing, I believe, that the alt-right is puritanical and that they're just using morality to be dicks the same way that SJWs do. Don't you think he had a bit of a point there?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, we're back. Let's ask Forney a question.
Because I could hear myself. I didn't freeze. I don't know what was going on.
That's okay. Listen, I just asked Forney a question to clarify on one of your earlier points, so I'm going to give Forney the chance to speak now.
Could you repeat that, Davis? You kind of faded out there. I don't know if my connection is the best either.
My mic's being terrible. Okay, so Goad earlier was arguing that the moralism, the puritanicalism within the alt-right boils down to this desire to bully people the same way we see it coming out of the SJWs.
Not bully, but no, because sometimes people who moralize are kind of cowards. They want mobs.
Oh yeah, people use morality to be assholes. And
yes, exactly. You get that.
There are people in the alt-right that do that. So where does morality play into things, Matt?
Morality is the necessary bedrock for a society. I mean, in the article, Jim brings up the point that he talks about transsexuality. And he says, don't call transsexual degenerates, call them fucked up. Now, okay, we'll go back. Jim, what is your opinion on homosexuality? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's natural? Do you think it's okay? Do you not care?
I think generally, the rates of being molested as kids are so high among gay people that I think that's a factor. I don't think you're born gay. I think it might have something to do with sexual imprinting as a result of being molested as a kid.
But what do you believe the role of homosexuality should be in society? Do you think it should be allowed? Do you think it should be banned, discouraged?
I think they're actually sort of an elite. They make more money. I think they're overrepresented in creative and intellectual fields. Unless they're spreading disease, I'm not cool about the disease spreading. And I did an article about that when Charlie Sheen got HIV. It's like I think the average gay male dies 12 years younger. That's a problem. And of course, I laugh at the idea that it's something to be celebrated. These people are dying.
Well,
and I think they are fucked up.
Well, the thing is,
do I need to call people fags all the time? No, that suggests something else.
Well, the problem is you attack transsexuality in that article.
Yeah, I think they're delusional. Yeah, and I think they have a neurological. I don't think that's a result of molestation. I think that's a neurological problem.
But on what basis can you claim that homosexuality isn't a mental disorder? Okay.
Well,
homosexuality is by definition unnatural.
Well, it occurs.
It's highly dangerous. It's one of the most dangerous activities a human being can engage in.
If it's highly unnatural, why are there like 400 species that practice it?
Well, do you think humans are just exactly the same as animals? Do you believe that there's nothing?
I think a little smarter. I think we are evolved from animals. Yes. I don't believe we have souls or anything like that. And you you have the most soulless eyes I've ever seen. So if anyone doesn't have a soul, it's you.
That's with the grade school insults. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Jim.
Tell me the thing, man.
The thing
is. You haven't explained why God would get angry, but that's okay. Tell me get to the thing.
Yeah, go to a theologist if you want theology. The problem is that homosexuality and you cannot condemn one but not the other. Okay, human beings.
You can. They're two different things. They're two different phenomena.
Human beings are not the same as animals. We have consciousness, which is something that cannot exist in a 2 + 2 EMC = squared world. Consciousness.
Animals aren't conscious. Animals aren't conscious. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you and I are thinking, and I don't know if you're thinking, but okay. I mean, I can see you thinking and giving ideas, and we're communicating. We live beyond the world of pure instinct. Animals, they eat, they shit, they sleep, and that's it. There are some flashes of intelligence, and like dolphins and whatnot. And I'm saying we cannot. If we are the most evolved form of life on this planet, if we are the most highest of these species on this planet, we can't just say, we can't just compare ourselves to some fucking dogs fucking each other and be like, yeah, that's okay. Then we can just, do that, okay?
Man, if you have
that's where the term degenerate comes from. Okay?
Hold on, Matt.
Degenerate implies that you've degenerated from a state of higher state.
Matt,
this higher state, what I think morality is, I think it's a function of evolution. Go ahead, Davis. Go ahead, Davis. And I think you're letting him talk more. Let me make my point. Go ahead, Davis.
There's a species of beetle in Australia that is highly sexually attracted to the green beer bottles they used to have there. And it was going extinct because it would keep trying to mate with the beer bottles.
But there are like, I think 400, 500 species that aren't going extinct that have, but
so the point Matt is trying to make is that this animal's instincts got short-circuited by an artificial stimulus.
I think fucking green bottles might be a problem. Yeah. Here's the thing. Let me make my point. Please let me make my point. We are animals who have evolved this. Everyone's talking.
It's nearly done. It's nearly done. His point is that we are self-reflective beings that can change our behavior.
I look at my dog's behavior. I think he has a conscience. He knows when he's being bad. He reacts to love.
All right. When we recognize that something we're doing is not productive or conducive to our survival, like eating a lot of chocolate or homosexuality or having sex with green bottles, we as higher beings ought to change that. Now, please go ahead.
He's still muted. And for the record, I was not speaking through all that.
Jim, you have to unmute yourself. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know how that got clicked. Okay. I think we are animals that have evolved to the point where we evolve these silly ideas. And I think these ideas come from the fact that we are animals. We have evolved what morality is generally, because it's never applied across the board. When the Arabs fight the Christians, they both think they're the good guys. So what's the constant? Oh, when we live, we're the good guys. When they die, they're the bad guys. And that's the only constant. It is tied to the survival instinct. So it is an animal thing. But to think it's this Aristotelian universal where homosexual, like some of them don't die 12 years younger. Some of them make a lot of money. Some of them are innovators. I mean, who was it? Alan Turing, he won part of World War II. Yes, I think they're valuable in some way.
Isn't Turing the guy who was forced to be chemically castrated by the government?
Yeah, he was. And if Matt, if you're against gayness, why did you walk around with no clothes on in front of Edwin and his friend when it was too hot in Chicago and you couldn't wear any clothes? And they were freaked out by it.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's what Edwin Oslin said. That you walked around naked and they were really freaked out because you're so fat that you got too hot in the summertime and you would walk around naked and insist on it.
That is the most ridiculous lie I've ever heard.
You think I made that up?
I know. Well, you made up the fact that I contacted you back in 2012, and I can prove that.
Matt, let's put it to a lie detector test. Matt, are you willing to do that?
How about I just screen share? It'll be faster, okay? Because I don't delete emails. Everyone who knows me knows this.
You could lie about that. I remember it distinctly. I know it hurts your ego that your hero doesn't like you, but Matt, that's what's going on here.
Dude, I don't care. Okay, and I'm going to prove that I don't care.
Why would you do it? You can't prove that. You can't prove what's in your heart. Are you that dumb that you think you can prove what you're feeling?
An email record.
No, you can't, because you could have deleted some of it, Matt.
How about you prove it then? Okay, if you remember this so clearly, you've got an.
I remember it distinctly. Why would that be so embarrassing to you? Let's put it this way. Let's even drop that.
Open up your email inbox and share it, because I'm showing mine right now, and you can see right here the only email conversation we ever had is right here from 2015. If you have the email, Jim, and you clearly remember it, so I assume you look back.
I clearly remember it. Why would I lie about it? It's not even that damning. Can you get him to shut up a little bit? He's shouting, Davis. I'm trying to have a rational conversation, but he's getting upset. Here's the thing.
I'm saying screen share your inbox.
My computer may have died, and that's not enough. I will take a lie detector test. I don't know why it's so humiliating that you reach it, because I remember this. Why would I remember?
I don't understand why you felt the need to lie about something so petty and inconsequential. And you know what's funny? You got offended when I think he froze again. Davis, are you there? He froze. I'm not hearing you.
Keep going, Matt.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying. When Jim angrily reached out to me early this week demanding that I appear on his podcast and he would tear me a new one.
Oh, you mean the one where you've liked every single episode and you're the only person who ever liked every single episode?
You've managed to prove I've liked the podcast. Way to go. Anyway, and when I said...
So I'm obsessed with you because you've fucking stalked and listened to and liked every one of my podcasts. I've never listened to one of yours, but hey, except that one because my name was
Dude, over the weekend when you angrily demanded I appear on your podcast,
you are the angriest, bitterest, weirdest guy in this entire scene, man. But go ahead.
I told you I wasn't going to appear on your podcast because you edited it deceptively to make me look stupid.
Make out. There you are. You're gay. You're gay. You're gay. You admitted it. You're a homosexual. Good. I will take a lie detector test about that mail, but it's a distraction. Did you not write reviews of my books? Am I disconnected again?
You've proven that I've written reviews of your books.
Okay. Wow. Have I ever written a word about you?
Detective Goad on the case.
Well, you're citing fucking emails.
Go work for the FBI with that fucking sniffing skills.
Reviews of his books, correct?
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you're going to dispute that you've given a lot more public attention to me than I have to you. Are you going to
given
dispute
a lot more
that?
mental attention to me, buddy. I have not. The only thing.
Matt. Okay, hold on a second, Matt. Is the crystal ball that you use to read other people's minds, does that weigh 300 pounds too? Because you can't read my mind. I only use you as a fucking joke.
You got
a
fat
joke. You're
man.
a running
Seriously.
joke. You're running joke. You can't read minds. It's a joke. You're so stupid. You think you can read minds.
It's this fifth grade mean
you
girl
don't.
shit.
You're not even aware of yourself or how silly you look. So you can't read my mind. You can't. Boomer, Matt. You've got the body of a 57-year-old. I've got the body of a 30-year-old.
Guess what, dude?
You're gonna die of a heart attack in 5 years.
People can become skinny, but an old fossil like you can't become young and relevant again.
Oh, relevant. Again, with the relevant. I don't care about popularity. You do.
To me about how, like, you're more successful than me, you know. And I'll grant you that.
When did I say that? When did I?
You were more successful back in the 90s.
When did I say that? When did I say I was more successful? You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Liar. Pants on fire.
Well, okay, Jim. Let's back up a bit. Your book, The Redneck Manifesto, was published by a New York publishing house. And
right.
Simon, that's a pretty big accomplishment. That's objectively a pretty big accomplishment.
Right.
You're friends with
Matt. What don't you understand about? I don't care about popularity.
You don't care about popularity, huh? That's why.
When did I ever say I was more popular? When did I ever say I was more popular than you? Davis, do you recall me ever saying that or using that as an argument? This is Matt's concern. I don't care about being more popular. I've never wanted to be popular.
Privately,
obviously, I know I don't network.
You are a successful writer.
Well, do I make a point of that? You're the ones making a point of that, not me.
Dude, and you also love talking about how other people have praised you. Like when I proposed 3 moderators for this debate.
Right.
Davis, Luke Ford, and Nick Fuentes. And you were like, well, Luke Ford has called me the best writer in America, and Fuentes thinks I'm a genius, you know?
Right.
Like,
no, call me brilliant. And the reason, don't interrupt me, Matt.
On your podcast, too.
Davis, can you be a little, because I'll just start shouting too, and then it'll be nothing. The reason I said that, Matt, can you take me at my word here, Matt? Because I think I found in my history, people who think other people are lying all the time are projecting. The reason I brought that.
You've been repeatedly calling Matt Forney a liar.
Well, because this is why he's saying you said that to say you're famous. No, the reason I said stop. Let me talk. Let me say the reason I said that. Stop interrupting, you little baby.
Let's talk about objective facts here. You said he emailed you in 2012.
Yes.
No, I didn't. Here's my email account.
Well, then you could have deleted shit. That's not proof of anything. I'll either find it or I'll take a lie detector test. Next subject. He's written a lot about me. Okay, the reason I said
positive, but criticisms. He's a fan of yours. But
that's fine. Let me talk about why I mentioned Luke Ford and Nick. It wasn't to blow me up. It was to say that they might be biased in my favor. I know you're his buddy, so I was being as fair as I could. Do you understand that now, Matt?
I could make the counter argument that you chose him so you could whine and bitch after I push your shit in that he was biased against you. You're already doing that.
What's with the gay analogies again? More. Why is it all about ass sex with you?
You're the one who fucked dudes, dude. Don't ask me.
I never fucked a dude. I got a blowjob.
You're a fucking liar. You admitted this in shit, Mike, man.
I never said I fucked a guy, Matt.
Oh, here's the quote, dude. Page
where I fucked a guy. Fucked a guy.
Smattering of teenage homo experiences.
Yeah, I'm fucked a guy. Where did I say I fucked a guy?
You said smattering of teenage homo experiences.
Nothing to say about fucking a guy. Blowjob.
Dude,
you're the one always talking about fags, and you're the one walking around as an adult.
Here, okay? If you have homo experiences, you lose.
Tell him to stop.
It doesn't matter what the topic is. You lose. Good day, sir.
Is he quitting?
No, you lose.
If you think that's the thing that makes someone lose, go nurse that delusion.
I already said you lost by virtue of showing up.
You can say it because it protects your ego, Matt.
No, I'm saying
the rest of the world thinks it.
You should be.
Can't prove it.
Someone of your statue should be ignoring me.
My statue?
Your stature.
Oh, you stature. Okay, writer man.
The point is that I should not be important to you. Yet here you are demanding to take up my valuable time.
Oh, your valuable time. Because
telling lies about me.
Contacting
my exes. No, you're not obsessed, and you're telling and you.
No, because I'm a good okay.
On your podcast,
let's talk about what your ex. Let's talk about what your exes said. Okay, if you want to bring that up, Matt, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you're a fraud. Okay, you used to do a blog under a pseudonym, right? For 3 years, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then you wrote a book about a review of this book under your own name. You called yourself the Andy Warhol of the alternative right. Okay, you're hold on. You're actually the Andrea Dworkin of the men's rights movement. That's neither here nor there.
I'm not an MRA. Never claimed to be.
You said you're one of the No, it says you were one of the founders of the Manosphere. Okay,
that's not the same thing.
Okay, then you're the Andrea Dworkin of the Manosphere. Is that better, Matt? Okay, and here's what you said about you're not one to be pigeonholed. You're equal parts Royce, Mencius Moba, Mark Ames, and Saint Augustine, tearing into the lives of the left with equal aplomb. And this is what you say. You are one of the best writers of modern times, and no, that is not hyperbole.
You're living. I have so much rent-free space in your head that you're seeking out shit I wrote years ago, dude.
In the couple days before this debate, yeah.
Was this his bio on In Malafide?
He wrote for the Colin Liddell, Richard Spencer site a review.
Congratulations again! You've unearthed something that was public knowledge long before you got around to it. But hey, keep it up the obvious takes, dude.
I'm not the one writing glowing reviews of myself. You can make me mental or anything, but you're the one writing glowing reviews of yourself. So you're the fake.
Review that's a bio. Have you never written a bio that? Like we've all written bios for these websites, and
it's dishonest. He's claiming under another name that his own name.
Well, I did write this review, buddy, and guess what? Colin Liddell asked me to, and it's been public knowledge. So
did he ask you to call yourself one of the greatest writers of your generation, Matt?
No, he told me to write the review.
And so you called yourself one of the greatest writers because no one else was. Okay. All right.
Now, guess what? I was also much younger.
Would you like to pretend that your current hostility toward the alt-right has nothing to do with their rejection of you, Matt?
I've been rejected by people who are reprehensible shitbags. God, I really feel broken up about that. Crying in my cups every night.
Yeah, you've done enough. That's all you do is talk about the people you tried to suck up to rejected. All you've done is criticize.
Suck up to?
Yo, yeah, you're posing with all of them, and they fucking laughed at you because you're laughable.
Well, they're all fucking failures. They're all fucking losers, and I'm still standing.
Compared to you, Matt, they're losers. Okay, you're not. No, you're not delusional. You're not delusional, Matt. Here we go.
You are so out of touch. You're fucking drawing about how Emily Eucas was
relevant.
Stalking you.
Not relevant.
You think Emily Eucas is such a relevant fit? Nobody has cared about Emily Eucas since
they care more than they care about you, Matt.
She has fallen so far that she has been reduced to doing publicity.
Has she fallen from grace?
Fed and retard Patrick Little.
How strong do your angel wings have to be to lift that body of yours, Matt?
Like I said, fat people can get skinny. You're still going to be an old fossil at the end of this conversation.
Matt, like I said, I've got the 30-year-old's body. You've got the 57, and you'll be dead of a heart attack within 5 years. You're never going to get
dead of grids within 5 years, buddy. You don't look well. I really enjoyed that backdrop, by the way. Accentuates your fucking.
Let's go, Matt. Anytime you want.
Are you threatening violence against me? Holy shit! You've broken the second rule of the internet.
Oh, rules of the internet, Matt. Don't look well. Matt, you've never looked well. As a baby, as a baby, you didn't look well. You've never looked well in your life.
I'm not going to fight you, dude, because I'm not going to get slapped with a hate crime charge for beating up a literal retard.
Matt, if you'd like to take an IQ test, literal retard would have an IQ lower than 75. Would you like to take an IQ test against me, Matt, and see who the retard is?
What is with you and the test, goddammit? Were you one of those kids who just boast about your IQ constantly?
You're making statements that I can prove you're wrong about. That's why, because I stick to facts, and you little bitter baby. Bitter bully baby, litter, and you're terrified of black men. The key to Matt is everything he says about you that sounds random sounds that way because it's actually about him. So if you're thinking, where the hell did that come from? That means he's showing you his cause. He has no spine, no actual personality of his own, and no moral center, which can make that's the fakest laugh I've ever heard, which can make the experience kind of disgusting as well. He tried to be all right, but he also tried to sell us. Can he not interrupt me there, Davis? There is supposed to be moderation. Yes, Davis? I think Davis is muted. So
I was asking you to clarify what you're talking about 5 minutes ago, and you're both talking over me. So he was laughing. You keep going, Jim.
Okay. We're doing the internet blood sports trend, which is what, another example of old Grandpa Jim here riding off a trend that has already crested.
I get more ass in a week than you'll ever get in your lifetime. So if you want to make age a thing, but again, like I said, I've got the 30-year-old's body. You've got the 57. And what does age? Is
about sex? It's like, the worst thing that can be happening was
you were best known for pretending you knew anything about sex, and then the world laughed when they saw your picture. Okay, projection, Matt.
That's not true.
You talked about sex.
Go right ahead.
Okay,
and talk,
sex.
buddy.
Let's see what you've. Oh, buddy. Ooh, he's getting tough. Let's see what you wrote about sex. Okay, here we go. Few months ago, and this is, now Matt is he's the world's most obese chameleon. He was a men's guy, then he was an alt-right guy, now he's a trad guy against degeneracy. 3 years ago he wrote this, then deleted it. So like Mark Ames, he's a sex tourist and somebody who brags about rape. And
Mark Ames, another guy you've stalked for years because he's
never stalked him. I actually have the documented emails.
He forgot about it years ago after making funny.
You let him go, then you can
address. He told you what you were.
I can't. You're talking over each other.
You're a typical Portland hipster. He made fun of you for it, and you never forgave him because, like all narcissists, you always. Now you read
a book about narcissism, and you don't sound intelligent. You know what a narcissist is? It's somebody that is more exciting than a boring person like you. Okay? So here's what you wrote. A few months ago, I was staying at the apartment of one of my fuck buddies. Ooh, Matt was a degenerate 3 years ago. Getting drunk with her and banging in between bouts of puking in the shower and playing with her cats. Okay? We were cuddling in her bed when I decided to be the man and start taking her clothes off. No, she sort of mouthed, but she didn't offer any resistance. Okay? Then later on, she told me she says, I don't like it in the ass. After about 10 minutes, she started yelping like she was having her fingernails ripped out. You're not enjoying this, I whispered in her ear. No, it feels like you're stabbing me in my asshole. I kept thrusting. You were bragging about fucking chicks in the ass against their will 3 years ago, and you deleted it, but there's a Wayback Machine, so Cook County, Illinois might want to know something about this. And I've got other testimonies that said you raped the chick. But anyway, and then you try claiming that she raped you. But anyway.
Davis, let me
okay.
talk.
Damn it, Tis wants to talk now.
Go ahead. Who gets to talk?
Oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Jesus Christ, man. This is the biggest cell phone.
Here's what you wrote. Matt also wrote
cell phone of the year.
Ooh, Matt with his internet, he's cell phoning. Matt,
dude,
everyone saw you picture you owned yourself. Matt also wrote a blog piece claiming he anally
I'm not done yet, buddy.
Literally accused himself in order to brag. Buddy, that's tough talk. Matt also wrote a blog piece. Well, can I finish? And we'll talk about this because it gets serious, Matt. More serious than you're going to expect. Davis, will you stop little Matt baby?
I'm not speaking.
Interrupting. I'm asking Davis because you're just interrupting me here. I'm just
you're complaining about bias like we said you would.
I'm not complaining about bias. I'm asking him to keep you quiet. I'm the one. He's not having to do that to me. I was being
quiet, buddy.
Buddy. Do you sound tough with the buddy, Matt?
Go ahead and make your point.
Matt also wrote a blog piece claiming that he anally raped me. Literally accused himself in order to brag that he got away with it. He's deleted it because I guess even he's not stupid enough to leave self-rape accusations out there. I don't ever recall having a sore butt, but maybe that's just a penis size issue. All right. So, did I tell you he moved in next door to stalk me? Shockingly, this did not result in becoming my girlfriend. I think that's why he's so enraged. I wasn't saying anything in public about him, as much as it annoyed me that he managed to leave people with the impression that we had been a couple. It's a long story, the very abbreviated version. He's still mad that he bragged to the entire world that he was dating me before asking me to date him. When I declined, he was rightfully humiliated, so he's been looking for an opening to write a string of sour grapes insanity ever since. It feels strange. I feel this strange childish need to post photos of my actual dude and every guy I've ever dated. Matt is probably larger than all of them put together, and he would be by a wide margin the dumbest in the lineup. And I think she might agree with you here about I am punching down. Okay, first off, dude is desperate.
Her name is Ann Sturzinger, dipshit. I know who you're talking about. Her name is Ann Sturzinger. Okay, here's some facts about Ann Sturzinger. She is a failed novelist.
You did 8,500 words about it. She's more successful than you, but anyway.
She's a bisexual, lifelong alcoholic.
I can't hear what Davis is saying.
Hospital for her entire life for her alcoholism.
I can't hear
admittedly mentally ill. Has been
you are, but you won't admit it.
Illness and has attempted suicide multiple times because of her mental illness.
Right?
She has publicly admitted that I had to rescue her from.
She disputes that.
This is your source. Someone who was literally declared by the state to be mentally insane. Oh, by the way,
you've just never been examined. You've just never been examined.
How you Never take a woman at her word ever.
Yeah, Matt,
you wrote an entire book.
I'm hearing.
How unfair it was that
I'm hearing Davis. One of you talk at the same time because
you were complaining that you didn't get a chance to speak, and now you're speaking over 40, and I'm trying to ask you to be quiet. So
I'm asking you what you're saying. That's all. It's hard. You're muffled.
And what I was saying is give Forney a chance to speak.
All we are saying, let's give Matt a chance. Go, Matt.
I'm not done, dipshit. Okay, here's what I say. Your entire shtick, Jim.
Who's angry, Matt?
Is like you talk about how
you
never take a woman's word.
Who's smiling and who's angry and who won't show his face? Who's angry, Matt? Come on.
You wrote an entire book about how unfair it was that you went to prison because society and the law took your crazy ex's claims of abuse against you more seriously. You wrote I've got the book. You wrote about that. And yet here you are attacking me based solely on the word of a woman who was declared by the state of Illinois to be legally insane. You've just proven that I was right when I said that you're a coward with no principles. You are a coward, dude. And guess what? If Ann Sturzinger wants to come on the stream and defend herself, she's more than welcome to, because guess what? I've got every text message that she sent me. I've got evidence, and Aurini happens to know her as well. Okay, he happens to know her as well. She can come on here and defend herself and claim that her story. She's always changing her story because she's mentally ill. By the way, I forgot to mention my relationship with Anne began 5 hours after she met me when she tried to sleep with me while her boyfriend was sleeping 10 feet away. She got me drunk, took advantage of the fact that I liked her, and then someone was like, "Ooh, let's have sex on the couch." Okay. And you know what? Unlike her and unlike you, Jim, I have enough introspection to realize why why I fell for that stupidity. And that is why I don't, and that is why I took a more Christian turn. You two, on the other hand, are still trapped in this aging juvenile delinquent mentality in which everything is always somebody else's fault. That's why you're what? You're nearly 60, Jim. You're a few short years from collecting Social Security, and you're acting like a fucking 15-year-old. So Ann Sturzinger, she's welcome to come on the stream. Aurini can give her the link, and we can see how reliable a witness that she is. But you know what? Like I said, I've got tons of text messages. Hell, she has admitted in public time that she is mentally insane. She wrote a book, New Squam Nowhere, based in part off her experience in a mental hospital. If you go to the article on her site, NPR versus Ann Sturzinger, she admits to the fact that she was thrown in a mental hospital because she got drunk at a bar and started talking about killing herself, which is something I kind of dispute because given how crazy she is, I have no idea what plane of reality she's on most of the time. But you know what? She's welcome. She's welcome to come on here to make heads or tails of that. I know she won't because she loves shit talking me to our mutual friend. She loves talking shit talking.
Can you mute him now, like you did? Can you mute him like you did me for 10 fucking minutes? Okay.
Mute him if
that was insane. Okay.
Don't speak over each other. Let each other finish.
Okay, but you got to give me 10 because you just gave him a long time, Davis. Come on.
A long time
Be fair. Be fair. You didn't have him muted for 1 minute, though.
I'm quiet and I'm muting myself, Jim. Speak.
Okay, can you be quiet, Matt? Because I was reading and then you interrupted me. But anyway.
Matt is being quiet. Go ahead.
Okay. The key to Matt is everything that he says about you sounds random to him. We got through that. He tried to be outright, but he also tried to sell his advice on dating. But the only women who will date him are desperate whores in the Philippines. He doesn't even realize he's lying most of the time. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Matt, it's not a hypocrite. You didn't prove anything. The reason I wrote Shit Magnet was I was in prison for 2.5 years. These other girls were running their mouths for 2.5 years. I would have never written Shit Magnet if that hadn't happened. I'm unlike you in the fact that I'm not the first one to go public with this shit. You have acted like a girl with Ann, with Rachel Haywire, and with Jordan Owen doing these public, ridiculously embarrassing. Oh, Jordan Owen's going to be the next Elliot Wright, and they're insane. But you're the one who does this. Hold on, Aurini, you got to fucking be fair here. You were fair until now. When mute him, okay? He had a lot more time to speak than I did. And now it's being ridiculous. Okay. There's a great example of. So what I'm doing is I'm letting her express her side because I think she was a little too dignified to be that fucking gay about it in public. There's a great example of his delusions in a blog piece he wrote about how terrible fat people are. I've never met anyone who's more blatantly delusional. Okay, so what we're going to get to down here is the other night. Well, the thing is, Matt he said that he insinuated that she tried to sexually assault him. He outed himself as raping her ass when she said to stop, and he went going on. He deleted it. He was either lying. Maybe he'll try to claim he was lying and not a degenerate 3 years. I mean, he changes like a chameleon. Like I see, he sheds the skin. There's no core.
Okay, actually, let me address this question to you, Matt. One, did you rape a girl in the ass and then brag about it? And two, did you used to be a degenerate?
First off, no, I didn't rape a girl in the ass. I didn't even have sex with Ann Sturzinger in the ass. And the fact that she claimed that I did is probably a more hilarious cell phone than what Jim is doing here. Like, that is the purest definition of an unforced error. Okay. So no. The claim that it felt like she was stabbing my asshole was something she said while I was putting it in the normal hole. And you know what?
Okay, but you kept going then when she said no.
Are you a feminist now? Like you
I'm
think
a feminist. I'm saying, are you a rapist? You claimed you were. I'm just asking, were you lying or are you? That's all.
It was not rape, dipshit.
When she says stop and you keep going, technically, legally, dumbass, that's rape, and you owned yourself. Talk about owning yourself. Talk about owning yourself. You admitted to it in something that's still on the Wayback Machine.
And yet, mysteriously, she has failed to go to the police.
Well, you know what happened? You know what happened, Matt? And this is where it's going to get serious. She was actually raped the other night because we were talking about all this stuff, and this was a weird fucking synchronicity. Okay, we were talking about this and that. I mean, we were sharing jokes. I didn't really get into all the things I thought that were funny about you. We can, but I guess this is getting darker. But and we talked about the allegations and that it was silly for you to say that you kept going. You know, because she said that you insinuated in this 8,500 word piece you did about her. I was told it was 80. It was pretty fucking long. I didn't read all of it. She said that you sort of insinuated that she forced herself on you. I wasn't there. I don't know. But here, you said that she said no, and I kept thrusting. You denying that?
She softly moaned it, which doesn't mean no. Okay. No is when you say stop and resist. And
she whined. It feels like you're stabbing me in the asshole. Whine, not softly. You're a liar. You changed it. I proved it empirically that you lied. So you're a self-admitted.
You're living free in my head.
Self-admitted rapist. Okay,
you're a feminist now.
I never said I was a feminist. I actually like to look at both sides of any issue, Matt. But here's the thing: she did get actually raped the other night, and I think this is serious. And maybe cool down a little bit to hear this, because this is one of these. My life is just filled with these sort of circumstances. We were talking about this, and we stopped talking. I got what I needed. And about 2 a.m, I got this text. A neighbor or someone just came in and raped me. I'm like, are you serious? I didn't know if she was telling a joke. And she said, yeah, I don't know if I should call the cops because it's probably someone from my building because it's thundering outside and he had no shoes on and he was dry and I don't want them to kill me. I'm like, call the cops. It's not like they're acting nice to you anyway. If you don't believe me, there's a thing they give out to rape victims and a hospital band on her wrist. Hold on.
This, I think, illustrates Forney's point, is that
go ahead.
Phoned anyone up and said after Forney had awkward drunk sex with her, should I phone the police? I believe she went out for breakfast with him the next day. And
rapist? No, she was in the hospital for 2 days. But what she said, okay, here's about the Matt situation. What she said about that was that she was so drunk she doesn't know if it happened. What she did say is she doesn't remember having a sore butt, but that might be because of his dick.
Okay, but take a page from Bill Maher. If you go for dinner with the person that you say raped you, it wasn't.
She didn't say that. She didn't say. We're talking about Matt saying he did it. She never said that. She said she was too drunk.
The only reason that I was even at her place to begin with, because the day before we had been having a conversation, and then out of the blue, she asked me to come over with, quote, a 24-pack of beer and some thick fucking condoms. She literally called me over for a booty call. The reason I was still there,
so desirable, Matt.
I have the messages, buddy. I can screen share it, buddy.
I'm not saying she's got bad taste then. You know, that's all.
Question.
How do you feel about the fact she was actually raped the other night, Matt?
Don't change the topic. Let Matt address it. Matt, did you used to be a degenerate, and are you repentant now, or are you a chameleon that changes his, spots like a tire or something?
I used to be a degenerate. My writing is freely available for anyone to see what I used to write. I've never hidden anything. I've never deleted anything. By the way, Jim, that post about Anne, I deleted it at her request. A full month after she had read the post, thought it was hot, masturbated to it for a fucking week straight, and then invited me over to fuck her again. She didn't have a problem with it until a month later. Then she asked me to take it down, and I said, she was like, well, why didn't you know? She's like, that hurt me. And I'm like, okay, well, you were not acting like you were hurt.
But what did she do to you? What did she do to you publicly that would cause something like this?
Huge shit right here. That's all I got.
You know what? I treated her like a groupie, and you know what? She acted like a groupie. Okay.
But what did she do? Seriously, what did she do to cause this public thing that you would do? Because to me, that's what. Hold on, let me finish the question. Because to me, in my experience, and like I said, I wrote Shit Magnet as a response. In my observations through my life, the people that go public with their laundry are the girls. And then maybe the guys respond, maybe they don't. So what did she do to like cause this? She's the sickest, most fucked up. What did she do?
It was anonymous in that piece, for the record.
I'm sorry?
Anne Sturzinger's name was not mentioned in that piece, and I think this is the first time publicly that it's been acknowledged that it was her.
Yes. And yeah, you know what? Had I known that she would cause a public stink about it, not only would I have kept the piece up on my blog, I would have added her name to it just to piss her off. But you know what? What did she do to me? Well, there was the fact that she dragged me into a sexual relationship against my will. Took advantage of.
You were raped, Matt. Everyone believes that.
She literally called herself a rapist. So don't ask me. Don't yell at me. She brought that up.
Is she more physically powerful than you, Matt? How was she able to tell? How was she able to force sex upon you? Tell me
Jim,
that.
I never called her a rapist. She called herself a rapist. When I told her about
you just said something though. We can rewind the tape. You just said something along. She had sex with you against your will. Did you just not say something like that?
No, she got me drunk, kept touching me inappropriately.
She got me drunk. Oh my God, you are a girl.
And I made the mistake of actually falling for it. That was a dumbest decision. And in some ways, I'm still paying for it. But you know what? She is 13 years older than me. She is the adult in that interaction. Okay, you don't get to be the older person in interaction, then slough it off. If you're the older person in these interactions, you have to take responsibility.
You still haven't answered what she did. What did she do? What did she do to you that necessitated this, like Jerry Springer live? I'm sorry?
Are you asking why he wrote the article?
Why he published it? Why? Because I remember when Debbie. Hold on. I remember when Debbie started going public. It's like, and what I said to her, it's like, you know, you're only making people who hate us happy. Like no one who likes us wants to see this kind of shit. And not because it was an indictment of me. Matt even said in his review of Shit Magnet that I owned everything I did. It was just really sad. And maybe you had romantic feelings for him. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you still got that whatever manosphere mindset. See, I never really got into these terms because I just go where I don't follow trends or memes or any of that shit. And actually, if you want to get real and street about it, I was kind of right. I laid the template for all of that shit a long time ago. But I don't understand, seriously, as dude to dude, if you can be dude to dude, what in her behavior necessitated this loud, ugly public thing?
Well, there was the fact that she had been gossiping about me for months before that. But that in and of itself is not.
I didn't hear that word. She'd been what?
She was gossiping about me, talking shit about me.
Talking shit. It's always the stalkers who they're talking shit. They're concerned with people talking shit. What do you care if somebody's talking shit?
That was not the impetus. The impetus is that she was accusing me of blackmail because I had switched web hosts. Her website was still hosted on my service because she had never attempted to even move it off of there because she's a freeloader. And when it went down, she'd already blocked me on Facebook. She made it clear she wanted no further contact.
Say your piece. Yeah. Then let him say everything he wants about her. Then I'll speak. Okay, Davis.
She accused me of blackmail because after 2 years of leeching off of me, I said through Edwin a mistake now. That I had the files, if she wanted them, she could compensate me materially for at least some of the hosting costs because that is not cheap at the time. The program I was on was not cheap, and you know we had only agreed that her website would be on my service as long as she was poor and couldn't afford her own. She never once made an attempt to move it off, even after things before us had went sour. She then went ridiculously clean. Was like, oh, I had some web bastard friend of mine try to move it, but it was locked. I was like, yeah, it's locked. You can't access the files on a server without the admin's permission. At any point, she could have contacted me and said, like, okay, I want my site off of your server. And I would have happily done it for her. I would have done it for free. She never did. She expected to leech off of me for all of eternity. And when I switched web hosts without telling her, because at that point she'd made it clear that she wanted no further contact, she got pissy and started passive-aggressively, publicly talking about she was the victim of a blackmail attempt. And consider the fact that I gave her files for free anyway, because I realized what I was doing was wrong, and I didn't want to deal with her going public. But she kept doing this anyway. So you know what? I published the post to shut her up. It was the extreme measure, but it was the only one that worked. Because guess what? She stopped doing it.
She's talking again. But here's the thing. Oh, actually, you talk about age. This is funny because this is what she said about you. When I first met him, I was shocked at his appearance. Like, this dude in his 20s? What the hell kind of nuclear reactor exploded on his mom?
And also 5 minutes later.
This was last week, Matt. And also, Matt, you're a fat, bald, old guy. You're in your 20s, and people on Reddit are calling you old. Like I said, you've never.
If you're a woman and you sleep with a guy repeatedly, you lose any right to talk about his appearance.
But okay, you've said what a horrible person is. Ta-da! I just said she was raped, and you're so concerned about your reputation. You showed
you're Jim. You're gossiping about something that happened 3 years ago, and
I'm not gossiping. He said it. It's not gossip.
And you're bringing gossip. Apparently, she was recently raped, which is fucking terrible if it happened. This is the first I've heard about it.
But we've heard not a word from Matt. He's more concerned about his right. He said he could ruin her writing. Man, you can't ruin anyone's writing career.
Well, then why did she suddenly? If I can't ruin anyone's reputation, then why did she suddenly delete all of her accusations about me 4 hours after I published that post? Why did she come to me 2 weeks later begging me to delete the post? Which I did, by the way, because guess what? It had served its purpose. Time to let it die. Let it disappear down the memory hole. Okay.
All right, good. You got to unmute yourself. But stop speaking over others. If she got raped recently, that's freaking terrible.
And okay. You know what? And you know what, too? It's like when I initially published the post, she was all like, I'm going to write a rebuttal and prove his lies. And yet she never wrote any rebuttal. Instead, she deleted all of her comments about me. And then she begged me to take the post down 2 weeks later, you know?
You're falling right into it, Matt, because here's the thing. And I've asked you already, but you are so concerned about what this girl... You haven't said a word about her actually fucking being raped. You are soulless. You have no fucking empathy. You're only concerned. You are, you know what it is? You're a narcissist and you have no reason to be. You're hideous. And the problem with you is if you're going to look like you got to have a personality. Your personality is a perfect reflection of your face. You have no soul. You still haven't said one word of sympathy for what happened. Go ahead.
Just like, aren't you concerned about what an internet nobody said about you on a podcast?
Yeah, this is how this all began, by the way.
Here's the thing. Hold on.
Matt was upset about somebody.
Can I please talk? You ask me a question, let me talk. Okay? I was not the one who brought up nobody. I guess in Matt's mind, relevancy and... Hold on, please don't interrupt me. Davis, you're interrupting me. I'm trying to make a point here. I don't care about popularity. If you have one follower... and you bring up something that is philosophically interesting to me, I'll talk to you. I don't discriminate if you have one follower, if you're the fucking Pope. I don't give a fuck about celebrity. Apparently Matt does, which suggests to me that he's a shallow person. That's all. He's the one that made an issue of being a nobody and punching down. Gave me a good joke though. Literally in the literal sense. And I think the audience understands what literal means. Let me finish. You're the one Davis, you've never interrupted him.
I'm trying to clarify points here because you make 30 points. You also said
my mind goes quickly, Davis, but go ahead.
You said, Forney, why did you care that Anne was spreading rumors about you?
Yeah, but this is a different thing. It's not, she wasn't saying he has a small dick. She wasn't saying he's fat. She's saying it was a minor thing about like a boring story about a web host. That's all. But this psychotic whore, it seems preemptive and it seems very feminine to me. I'm not satisfied that he was, in my judgment, he was not satisfied with going that ugly and Jerry Springer about. That's all.
The rumor she's spreading
he still hasn't said something about her being raped. If you want to see the proof that she was raped, jimgo.net/ann.jpg. She's got her hospital bracelet and the admission papers there.
Well, no, that's absolutely terrible. But
Davis, you've said that 5 times. He hasn't said it once.
Do with this.
Go ahead, Matt.
He does not live
I
in
haven't said anything about it because you
Last
keep throwing
night.
shit at me and not letting me respond. You keep throwing shit at me about this drama and not letting me respond.
I
think it's terrible that she got raped.
Good.
I think it's terrible that she got raped. I also think it's kind of odd and coincidental that it happened this week.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yes. I mean,
kind of a bad simulation we live in. If that's the kind of thing that happens.
A bad what?
A bad simulation.
Stimulation.
You know the joke that we live in a gigantic matrix.
It was. I mean, Chicago's a bad place. Yeah. And she got raped by a black guy.
But here's the thing: you began this by you approach this in complete and utter bad faith. You started talking about
okay. Hold on, Davis. Can you mute him? I want to address that, and that's a bad argumentative tactic.
You had quite a bit of time to say stuff. Let's let Forney give it.
But he's accusing me of what's in my mind. We can't do that. I don't know what's in his mind. I don't want to get inside his mind. You can't tell me what I'm doing or bad faith. And that's one of the reasons I came on here.
Yeah, it's bad
I'm absolutely
faith.
sincere.
It's bad if a woman has gotten raped. That's the first fucking thing you mentioned when.
Forney, do not speculate upon the witness's motives. Just describe the behavior he engaged in.
Thank you, Davis. This is why I kind of wanted to talk to him, because the way he went after. I just want to explain I was accused of motives. This is my motives why I wanted to have this conversation. Nothing about punching down, but literally Matt can't punch above his weight because he weighs so much. It was just because I saw the way he argued. He's doing this because it's mind reading and it's appeal to motive. And I grow increasingly frustrated. Just let me get this out as one or two more sentences. I actually like to have honest conversations. So telling me why I'm doing it in bad faith, that's bullshit. And Matt, I never accused you. I examine your behavior. So lay back on that, because it's a dead end loop. You say you're doing this because, I say no. Oh, you're in denial. That goes nowhere. I don't know what you do. I mean, why you do what you do. I don't want to know. Last thing I'd want in the world is to crawl inside your fucking mind. But that's a bad argumentative tactic, and you rely on it too much. Take the floor.
The exact same thing, though?
No, when? I will only say I suggest because this and that. I won't say you're doing this because you're a liar. I will take a lie detector. If I can't find any, I will take a lie detector test. And he sent me that email. I am not a fucking liar.
Confessed rapist.
I'm sorry?
You called him a self-confessed rapist and a liar?
Yeah. Well, he did that. That's a fact. That I didn't say why he raped her. I didn't say why he confessed to it. That's mind reading. I said what came out of his mouth, saying I kept going when she said no. That's him writing. I'm a self-confessed. That's him being a that's a fact.
I kept going.
And yet she didn't go to the police about it. Again, this feminist nonsense of rape victims who don't go to the police. In fact, she not only did not go to the police, she continued to sleep with me after that. She said
she didn't. She said that there were several other people who came in on it. Okay, again, I'm saying
that's a fucking lie. We were alone there,
Matt. I said she said. Okay, listen to me. She also said she doesn't remember anything. That's part of it. Other people were encouraging her to. There are a couple other people corroborated this, that there were witnesses. I'm just reporting here. I'm not making any claims because I know I wasn't there. I don't know.
There were witnesses who saw me raping her.
Who came in and you fled is what they said. According to your account, though, you just flopped over because you couldn't come. But as she also said, she didn't have a sore butt. And I know that's insulting because if you anally raped her and she didn't have a sore butt, doesn't reflect well on you.
Either she's lying or she doesn't remember anything. Because guess what?
Go ahead.
Guess what? That's not how it happened. I'll talk about this again. The day before, I came over to her place because she asked me to. She literally wanted to have sex with me. I can show the messages that she sent me on Facebook. I stayed there because, well, number one, she tried to lock me in because I asked for the keys and she hid them. But number two, she had been drinking for like a week straight. She had admitted that she had tried to kill herself because of what Rachel Hare had been doing to her. She had shotgunned a bottle of whiskey, and she made this in a legal document to a certain lawyer, by the way, so she can't squirm out of that one. And I stayed there because I was concerned that she was going to – she had no food in her house. She had no money. She had claimed that her wallet had been stolen, and she had no way to get any access to any money. She had been drinking and was having delusions and DTs, okay? So I stayed around to dry her out. Now, part of it was because that was the first time in my life I'd been in a situation like that, and I wasn't sure what to do. But I stuck around because I was afraid that if I didn't, she would have died. And she said in this legal document, when Rachel Haywire tried to sue us like a year later, that she admitted that if it had not been for my intervention, she would have died.
And you had sex with her during that weekend where you were...
Because she asked me to. Because she begged me to.
She begged you to stop and you kept thrusting.
That's like...
begged me to come up, yeah.
By your own words. By your own words, Matt. That's known legally as a statement against interest. You're
just like, I'm muting both of you for 1 second. Goad, what you're doing, obsessing over this preternatural, awkward, and failed relationship between Forney and Sturzinger is the equivalent of us spending the next 45 minutes calling you a fag because a guy sucked you off one time. All right, this is very pedantic. It's not going anywhere. We actually talk about what the hell you guys disagree about. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
With the fag thing, a girl I know says you talk like you got a 50-foot cock in your mouth, but that's not here nor there. You guys are the ones talking about fags, so that suggests things to me.
No, we're not.
I'm sorry?
We're not talking about it. You keep talking about this screwed up relationship.
But here's the reason I bring it up, Davis. Because she actually got raped. He said that's terrible. Hold on.
Related.
Please. Hold on. Can I finish the sentence? She got raped the other night. He's not disputing it. But she said this, and she's mentally ill. This shows character right here. This shows he's more concerned about, well, she wanted me and a girl got fucking raped by a black guy. And who was a repeat criminal apparently, and has been arrested for it. And he well, okay, that's bad. But if she said this is the reason I've done it. It illustrates the soullessness of the guy who keeps talking about people with no soul.
If Anne was so traumatized by this rape, why was she tweeting 3 hours ago?
Are you disputing it happened? Because jimgoad.net/ann.jpg.
I looked at that, and I'm asking why she's on Twitter.
You're incapable of, are you denying that she got raped? Because we can prove that.
How about she comes on here and talks about it? Because she's apparently well enough to tweet.
I thought it was between you two, not her and the rapist, who's probably not even in the audience.
Yes, and if Anne is well enough to tweet, she's well enough to come on the stream and tell her side of the story. She doesn't need Jim white-knighting.
You want me to contact her? She's
welcome to come on.
She's probably listening. I can ask.
If you want her on, guys, you can come on. I don't.
Yeah. I think he fell exactly for the trap, because this shows he's more concerned about what people think about girls desiring him or not. The girl actually got raped. Okay?
Dude, if you were concerned about this, you would have told me that she was raped right off the bat. You wouldn't be using this as some sort of autistic, weird ass power play.
Autistic, Matt. You were the least self-aware. Everyone that I've talked to about you says you're autistic.
No, does us crying about her getting raped? Does that make good radio, and does that help catch the rapist? No, like her getting
no. What I've already explained the point it makes, that he's a pretty shallow person. He's concerned about his public image more than he's supposedly a Christian, and he's supposed to feel compassion. I'm sorry.
Dying in Ethiopia of starvation. You self-involved person. You could be working and donating that money to charity to feed kids in Africa.
This is a specific situation we're talking about.
That
has nothing. I'm sorry. I'm not posing as a moralist. So that's
here's a question.
Here's a question. Matt, you get really upset. Go ahead. Actually, you sound kind of like really worked up. Go ahead, Matt.
How would she post a police report?
She says sure. Okay. Hold on. Let me call her. I'll take out one. We're calling her right now.
I still don't see what this has to do with you two not liking.
Let's see how they talk.
Well, send her the link to...
Do you want to come on? Are you on Gmail?
She's on my Skype. She can ask for a join.
Yeah, ask. Okay, go ahead. Okay, great. Okay, get on. Davis is talking to her. But just to say, hey, caring about somebody that you used to care about on some level got raped, that makes me a feminist. That's really dumb.
No, I accused you of being a feminist because you accused me of rape, because you claimed I had raped her.
You claimed you had raped her. We've established that. You said it.
You didn't listen to after. You didn't read the part of the post after that where she said that I was the only man that did not make her sick. And
what does it have to do with I kept thrusting? What does that have to do with I kept thrusting when she said no?
With me after that, and you know what? If you took that to a court, then no court would buy it. That's why she
Nice.
never charged. By the way,
Anna's joined. There she is.
All right, listen, Anne, what happened the other day is terrible. This is probably the wrong place to talk about it. I don't know why it came up. This is a podcast.
I've explained repeatedly why it came up, but go ahead.
Matt Forney and Jim Goad want to be really good friends and ride the unicycle together. And now we're bringing you into this. I'm really sorry. Are you doing okay? Matt Forney and Jim Goad want to be.
There's an echo, a really bad echo.
Mute the video in the background.
I think I need to get my headphones. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. There's an echo.
There's an echo.
Yeah.
Really bad echo. All right, Anne, I just muted you, so unmute yourself when you get back.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Matt. I don't think I sincerely, you know what, your chameleonic nature where you shed these identities as the momentum moves somewhere else suggests to me that you really don't have any core ideas. But for the sake of argument, I project, so I think everyone else is sincere. Are you willing to allow the possibility that the things I say are sincere and I'm actually looking for truth and happiness sincerely?
I'm willing to consider that in an infinite universe.
In an infinite universe, okay.
Which I believe our universe is infinite in some respects.
Hey, I apologize for the echo and the delay. I've had a shitty week and I didn't think about putting my headphones on. Sorry.
I'm sorry to hear what happened, Anne. You can talk about it or not talk about it. This is not what we're here to talk about, but you're welcome to say whatever you want. Now, actually, let me start things off. I don't want to get into the ugly details between you and Forney. You guys had a relationship back in the day. It did not end greatly. Did Matt Forney ever rape you?
I do not know. That's you. Okay. Let me just say, first of all, I gave Jim permission to talk about this. He's not just dragging me into it. He actually helped me through a really shitty situation. And it is bizarre that we were talking about all this when
it was such a strange synchronicity. I'm sorry. It was crazy.
Yeah, he would.
Both Forney and I, when you were going through all that shit with your ex-business partner trying to drive you to suicide, Forney was helping you with that. And that was a year after whatever happened between you guys happened.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I do not know whether Matt raped me. You guys are I think without any malice on either of your part. I don't think I was clear enough. I think you've conflated two incidents. The first one was when Matt and I met, and I hadn't been drinking because I do have a problem with alcohol. I've owned that everywhere. Matt has a problem with alcohol and food and everything else, and he can't own that shit, which is kind of why he, I don't know, attacks everyone else about it. Jesus. The night I met him, I hadn't been drinking, and I drank 3 or 4 IPAs and got blacked out drunk. I don't remember what happened. My boyfriend claimed that Matt raped me. I had no recollection of the incident, so I didn't want to press charges or ruin Matt's reputation because I didn't want to ruin someone's life over something that I didn't know whether it happened or not.
Right. That incident when you first met, Matt introduced him. Your boyfriend woke up, saw himself getting cucked by Matt Forney, and then tried to accuse Matt. He started spreading rumors to everybody that Matt Forney had raped you, and you insisted that no, Matt Forney didn't rape me. I don't remember him raping me, and etc. And you eventually
I defended him because I didn't want to make fake rape charges, but I don't know what happened. And the fact that Matt's been insinuating that I kind of took advantage of him in repayment for me defending him from fake rape charges is kind of unbelievable.
Is possible jerk. Now, that's just like the second incident, which is what Jim Goad was bringing up. Matt Forney wrote a post. It's about this weekend you spent together. You had OD'd on alcohol, and he was taking care of you, and there was some awkward sex. You said no at one point, but he kept going. But it was awkward sex, not rape. And that was, 6 months or a year after you first met, wasn't it?
That's a very long story. Matt has tried. This is a perfect illustration of how people who try to be decent people can never get away with manipulating someone once. Because if you're not good at manipulating people, you can never get away with it because you don't have any practice. I had one of the worst years of my life. My best friend died the day I turned 40, or I found out about it the day I turned 40, which was also the day of the Charlie Hebdo shooting. I went to France to try and take care of her husband because he was suicidal. While I was in France, this was after the first incident. This was 6 months after the first incident. I don't even know why I'm talking about this shit in public.
But can I give you my perspective?
I'm doing it for the sake of accuracy because
you guys had a shitty relationship together where both of you were being broken together and both of you were being idiots and drinking too much, and you were dealing with a lot of shit from the outside. You had all that personal shit. Matt Forney was constantly getting attacked by the left-wingers, and you kind of found comfort in each other, but it wasn't exactly a healthy relationship. I sum it up. I don't want to dig into. I don't want to.
Yeah, this Anne's been through enough. I think this is enough. Matt challenged her to come on. She came on. I don't want to put her through anything.
Does she have a police report?
No.
About.
No, I just don't.
Do you have a police report about what happened this week?
Do you have a police report? Because guess what? A few months ago, Jim pulled a hose.
You want me to?
Yeah, get it, Ann. Get it, because he's a liar. Go ahead.
A few months ago, Jim where he posted a picture of himself after surgery with his nose broken, saying that Antifa had put him in the hospital. Yeah. So guess what?
It was a prank.
Dude.
And I revealed the prank 3 days later for my next article. Yeah.
So will you forgive me for well, fuck it. I'll rephrase this. Can you consider the fact that I might think that this is also a prank because you have a history of such things?
Maybe you can see the seriousness of my face.
I can see emotions can be faked, pal.
Well, I guess you would know about that.
I trust, but I verify.
And then I think she's been put through enough.
Wait,
I trust, but I verify.
What does last night's rape have to do with this situation at all? Why?
Like I said, he asked her to come on. Okay, I wanted to show he's morally grandstanding, and he's shown himself to be an empty person.
No, you're using a woman's rape if it is real for your own to win an argument, which is pretty goddamn sick, dude.
No, you've just been
repeatedly spreading that I was his ex. I was not voluntarily dating him. He tried to manipulate me.
I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to say when a woman tells me that she's in love with me.
I'm digging through volumes of sexual assault paperwork to try to find the actual police report.
We're talking about this is somebody else yesterday in Chicago. This is not Matt Forney we're talking about.
This was 2 days ago, and it was just an incredible coincidence, a horrible coincidence. But I figured she said you can talk about all this. And what I wanted to do, because he acted exactly like I thought. I'm explaining. You're asking me, Davis. Let me explain.
Coincidence means there was a second incident. Where's the second incident? All I see is one rape. There's no coincidence. There's just one rape.
Matt said I kept thrusting, so that's the first. Okay, there we go.
You accused him of.
No, he accused himself in his article. It's on the Wayback Machine. I'll give everyone the URL right now to just fucking settle this. My God. Okay.
Why is sexual assault misspelled?
https://archive.is. Archive is. Okay.
Sexual assault is spelled wrong.
ZOTKS. Matt, are you challenging this? Put up $10,000 that it's fraudulent. Oh, you don't have it. Put up everything you own, Matt.
You don't have any money either, dude.
I just bought a house. I bet $110,000 last year. You want me to prove that? Because I can. Put up everything you have. I'll put up this fucking house. Let's go, buddy.
Just like all right. So we have, yes, and got sexually
This is my new house. You will never have a house, Matt. You'll die of a heart attack.
All right, Goad, could you stop talking over others? Yes, Anne got sexually assaulted by a black man the other night. That's
right.
terrible. Why did you bring it up, Goad? What does this have?
I've explained this 5 times. Listen closely the 6th time around. I wanted to prove what a shallow and projection narcissist. Matt's more concerned about whether she liked him more or he liked her more. Hold on. Let me finish, Matt. Then he just heard a woman's been raped, and he had to be asked about 5 or 6 times, what do you think about that? That's exactly why. Because he was going to do the shallow shit. I'd throw a fucking nuclear bomb in there and prove what a shallow. He's just a blimp with Aaron. There's nothing in there. That's why.
First off, like I said, you committed pranks before. So guess what? And I mentioned that you had been lying about me earlier and proved
You're
it.
so shrill and angry.
So
Matt,
I don't.
You want to take a lie detector test over who the liar is? Because we can do that. Because people accuse me of being liars because I've suffered in my life for not fucking lying. You get by on lying, oh, hey, I'm a player. You get by on nothing. Oh, I'm a representative of the white race. You are the worst specimen of the white race that exists.
Wait a minute.
Okay, now you're a Catholic. God doesn't want you. God would St. Peter would say, no, go. Okay, that's why, Matt.
No.
Okay,
no.
I'm better friends with Anne than Matt is at this point. There's no there's no bad blood between Anne and I. But when you told me right now I'm in do an interesting live stream mode, and as soon as I'm done, then I'm going to be like, holy shit, Anne got raped, and I'm going to.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I've been on edge all week because of this. Yeah,
you kept throwing lies at me. You kept throwing Anne's lies.
Name a lie.
Distortions. Well,
I know. I said. This is what she said. I'm not lying. You can hash it out whether it's lies.
Anne's either lying or misremembering things. Like, for example, the claim that I moved in to stalk her. The reality is that she moved into my neighborhood 2 weeks after me. So if anyone has a stalking claim to make, it's me. And I can prove this because guess what? I have the text messages and I have the fucking lease.
He still doesn't care about the rape, Laudian.
I said if the rape happened, it's a tragedy. But you know what? Given your history of lying, dude, I have zero.
Name one lie I've ever told, Matt.
I just named one early in the show when you claimed that I had emailed you.
Matt, why would I lie about something so trivial? You just send and say, "Hey,
I'm a narcissist and a petty individual."
No, Matt. I can again. What's with the lie? Would you agree to have me take a lie? Because that would cancel out that claim. Where else have I lied? Because actually, in some of the things she said here, she said Matt lies without even realizing he's lying. You lied about being a player, Matt. You're no fucking player.
I never claimed that.
The chicks and the chick. Oh, me, I won't fuck the fat chicks. Oh my God, Matt, look at you. That's when you were originally revealed to be a fraud. Then you were a white power guy, and then you're walking backwards from Antifa.
One of my favorite books by Forney was Life During Peacetime, and that was a book about how he made a complete ass of himself, sleeping with a fangirl who was planning to get married, and how much he hated himself for doing it and what a jackass he is. He's never claimed to be a ladies' man player or whatever. He's just talked about what he knows.
Well, does he know these things about female psychology? Because he doesn't know how he comes off, so I doubt he knows anything about women, really.
Well, again, that's one of these, that's like, Goad, you're a virgin. It's one of those cheap.
No, I'm not. I said I doubt. I'm not saying he. I'm saying I know how to count.
I doubt you've ever had sex. It's the same thing. This is a cheap internet.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that any of the things you're saying are anything equivalent. And I know how to couch these things, not to claim that I know what's inside someone's mind. Unlike Matt, he said he knew why I wrote that article, which is what started all this. He doesn't. He clearly doesn't. I've explained it. And talking about acting in bad faith, well, yeah, he brought up bad faith. He didn't mean this when he wrote this in the article. He doesn't mean any. Who acted in bad faith? You started this with bad faith. Your blog was in bad faith. That's what was the name of it.
Dude, you deliberately framed this in a way to be manipulative. If you actually cared about a woman being raped, you wouldn't have shunted that to the very end.
And did I act caring when you texted me in the middle of the night the other night? Did I encourage you to go to the cops? Because did you not say to me, this was really, and like, again, shocking. So I'm kind of rattled and I had trouble sleeping. You said, it's somebody from my building or somebody staying with somebody, and they'll kill me if I call the cops. I'm like, they're not being nice now. Call the cops.
But why did you announce it on this live stream?
How many times do I have to? Okay, seventh time. Because I knew Matt would be more concerned whether she loved him more than he loved her or whatever than the fact that she
because
actually
guess
slept with the
what?
other
I
guy.
didn't know about the rape, okay?
It was
I
brought
don't
up and
exactly
you kept
concern
fucking-
myself with the doings of Anne's
It was
wife. I don't know what
brought
she's
up and
doing.
you kept
She could be dead in
ignoring
a
it.
ditch for all I know.
It was brought up and you kept ignoring it. And that's it. You perfectly served my point. That's why I brought it up, because I knew that's how he'd act.
A cheap appeal to emotion.
Matt, all you've been doing is being shrill. You're not logical. You're appeal to motive. That's all you do.
So you
I'm
brought
just because you said I'm
Am
a
I supposed to immediately drop everything and suddenly start crying because you claim someone was raped? Am I supposed to immediately
Is it
take
still
everything
claim?
you
Is it
say
still
at face
claim?
value?
Does it still claim, Matt?
You
Really?
have a history of lying.
Name a
and
lie I've
deceiving
told.
people.
Name a lie I've told, Matt. I've
Oh, let's
challenged
talk-
you. And you said,
How
an
about-
email. You show, you could have deleted tons of emails. It could have been another email account, Matt.
Funny, I got in
You said
contact-
a history. You said a history, Matt. Let's go.
Okay, let's go back to that incident you were talking about years ago where you knocked fists with Antifa. And you claimed in a Vice article that you were being harassed in Portland because you were wearing an Iron Cross pendant. Some Antifa gang came up to you and wanted
Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. Yeah, the
Yes,
Rose
and-
City
and-
Bobber Boys. Yes.
Yes, and you single-handedly fought them off, and a bouncer.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It was one guy, and I bested that guy. I didn't say I said
And
you're
you-
lying. It's Skinheads Against White People. You can find the article. You just lied. Caught you. Calling me a projection, Matt. Look
I'm
up
sorry,
everybody. Hold on.
I'm not
Dave.
immediately quoting your words verbatim.
You
buddy.
just lied about what I wrote. I said I fought one guy, and then the cops came while the other guys were around. I didn't single-handedly fight them all off. You fucking liar.
I got contacted by a friend of yours who has known you for a long time. It's
Okay.
impressive the list of enemies you've got. This friend claims that you were the one who got your nose broken and were running to the cops.
Yeah.
And that
Do you have a
were the
police
one who
report?
got your ass kicked.
Do we have a police report, Matt? Because I will take lie detector test about that too.
What is with you and the lie detector test?
Because you're accusing me. This is the best way to prove it. Otherwise, I say no. You're saying I'm in denial. You've just lied. You got caught in a lie about what's in that article. You can look up Skinheads Against White People on Vice.com. I never say I fought off a whole gang. I said me and one guy got at it while they were all watching, and then the cops came. That's all I said. So you lied. You lied to make it look better. I've never gotten you. There's no. You will find. Knock your little journalistic ass off trying to find one police report. I got you know what I got from all that? Never had my nose broken. I got punched in the nose. Maybe actually that might have broken it. I don't know. Maybe this is a broken nose. I got a bloody nose. That was it. Never got put in the hospital. Never went to the police about it.
Lied about the whole Antifa thing recently with your broken nose.
That was a prank, and it was revealed as a prank. That's not the same as a lie.
You think that kind of thing is acceptable? You think that kind of thing burnishes your credibility? Like, oh, okay, guys, I
thought it was fun. I thought it was fun because what I was doing is seeing I wanted to bring out the people.
It diminishes your credibility. Okay,
credibility. You just lied about an article I wrote.
It means that nobody wants to trust you if you lie like that.
You don't know what anybody thinks, Matt. You don't. I don't either. Don't speak for everybody because you talk about small. You are a small man. You can't speak for everybody. Okay. I caught you in a fucking lie. I never lied. I challenged to fight those guys again. I have the screen caps of Matty Valentine, the one that sucker punched me 2 years ago. I'm saying, let's go again, Matty, because you told this lie about what kind of Iron Cross. You said I called the cops. Let's have a debate about it. He ran. Okay. Call me a liar is what's going to fucking get you lots of hell from Jim Goad. I don't fucking lie. And I've suffered throughout my life for not being.
You lied about the fucking me contacting you back in 2012. You lied about that.
Didn't Matt?
You won't produce any evidence.
This is why I wanted you to come on in camera so I could stare you in the eyes about it.
I'm sorry I didn't buy a camera to indulge your whimsy. This happened because
you're
your demands on my time.
You haven't had a fucking webcam on your laptop for a year, and you're talking about I don't have a house. I have a fucking house. You're homeless.
I have a perfectly functioning computer. It's a Win 8 laptop that was upgraded to Windows 10. There's no driver for the webcam. So guess what? I tried
without a webcam, a successful entrepreneur. You call yourself an entrepreneur, but you don't even have a fucking camera.
The only reason I have a webcam is because I bought it to be on Rush's stream. I didn't have a webcam for years.
But everyone does. On their phones, they do at this point. Come on. Matt is destitute.
I'm not holding up
Matt
my
is
phone
destitute. He's destitute. That's all.
Just
Just admit it.
Hilariously, I just landed in another country.
Are you reading his mind? How do you know he's destitute?
Because he doesn't even have a fucking webcam, and hasn't for a year.
Maybe he doesn't masturbate on those masturbation sites.
I think Matt masturbates probably more than anyone on the planet.
If you want jack off material, go to YouPorn Gay, buddy.
Matt, you're really obsessed with gay. The thing is, no fag,
buddy. I can use
no
that.
fag has ever wanted you, man.
I'm so sorry that I'll never get the chance to contract AIDS and have my colon destroyed. I'm really sorry about that.
And again, no woman will ever fall in love with you. You're not desirable to either sex. Okay? Because I had a thing when I was 15, and you probably did too. And most guys, and I'm the only fucking one who's honest about it, doesn't mean you're ever going to be attractive to anybody in the world, Matt. That's a better insult than anything you can ever come up with against me. Sorry. If you, because it was a good line, if you became a Christian, I would say, well, God's perfect. Then how do you explain you?
Yeah, Matt's either going to use Facebook posts that I wrote in private while I was extremely drunk. I love everybody when I'm drunk, just FYI. Or
do you fuck everyone when you're drunk? Do you fuck everyone when you're drunk?
Oh, look at righteous Matt. Righteous Matt. You're righteous. You're a righteous man, Matt. You're righteous. You're good. Everyone can tell how good you are. Tell it to the world, Matt. This is exactly what I was talking about. I'm moralist. You little fucking wormy guy. Did you do a bad thing? Hey, that makes me a good guy. That's exactly what's going on here, Matt. Why do you have to paint her as bad?
Isn't that what you're doing, Goad?
Probably because
no, I'm saying he's pathetic. That's all. I'm not saying bad.
Probably because she embroiled me in something I had no interest in.
Wow.
You by your 8,500 word blog post invited this, Matt.
Yeah, I admit my role in facilitating this nonsense. But you know what?
Wow.
When this all began, I was 26 and was 39. She is the adult in this situation. When you're the older person, you take responsibility. Trying to slough off responsibility on someone who's young enough to, in your words, Anne, be my fucking son is pretty goddamn pathetic.
Man,
I get an excuse for you if you don't.
Can I talk at some point?
Mute us all, Davis. Let her talk.
I love everybody when I'm drunk. I don't know what kind of Facebook posts I wrote to Matt when I was drunk. He will use any drunken, happy thing I said to prove that I was in love with him. I also went, because I know how volatile he is, and I didn't want to have my name dragged through the mud. When I realized he was trying to manipulate me into a relationship during the worst year of my life, I tried to assuage his ego by being nice and telling him that I was choosing someone else. Matt's not muted.
Matt, stop giggling into your mic. Keep going, Ann.
I was choosing someone else and letting the better man lose in an attempt to not have this very thing happen. I gave Matt every opportunity to walk out without being humiliated. I was hoping that he would take the hint, but it kind of blows my mind that I still don't know to this day how he found out where I was moving in Rogers Park after it was an insanely bad year. Just
you're a liar, Ann. I moved in there before you.
Yes,
I have text messages to prove it.
Matt, I don't know how you managed to figure out where I was going to move, but you also texted me that you were staying in Oak Park, hanging around Oak Park, hoping I would hang out with you.
No, I didn't. I went to Oak Park because I was in between apartments, and that was the cheapest place where I could go. It was even that or
Oak Park is one of the most. Everyone can look it up. Oak Park has one of the highest real estate values in the
Oak Park is 50% black. Okay.
Were you staying in Austin?
No, I was staying in Oak Park. Okay.
Matt,
you and your broke-ass boyfriend could live there. So it's 50% black. Everyone knows there's a huge ghetto in Oak Park.
Look at all the Christian compassion and morality. It's not like he's a bitter person. He's a moral person, and he wants the world to know it. or at least through his
No, I
through his
want the
actions.
world to know.
Through his
that
actions,
this-
he's a good
Yeah.
man.
No, I
You
want the
did
world to
this
know.
and you did that. You're bad. Okay, we get it. We get it, Matt. You're making my point. Go ahead.
It's just bizarre dealing with this level of lying and projection, and this is why I didn't want to be in a relationship with this man.
Except that you said to me that you wanted to be, and then you reneged on it because you're such a lush that you can't even remember what you say the next day. That your emotions are, that you're on so many drugs, and your emotions are so melting that
I've never denied any of that, Matt, but I did not want to be in a relationship with you because I did consider it. I thought, and no one will let me finish my story, but I was having one of the worst years of my life. My best friend died. My boyfriend kicked me out of the house in order to, and this is leaving some shit out because I'm just too tired at this point to remember everything. But my boyfriend kicked me out of the house so that he could date a 20-year-old girl because he was having a midlife crisis. I wound up staying at my ex's mother and stepfather's house, where his stepfather got into bed with me in the middle of the night while I was looking for a place that was affordable to live. The only place I could find was Rogers Park. When I was moving in, I got a text from Matt, or a call. I can't remember.
It was a text.
I'm not a liar, Matt, so I don't.
She said a text or a call. What are you snapping at?
Put evidence in a plastic bag and shove it up my ass so that I can prove shit that didn't happen by taking things out of context. God, why did I ever try to not humiliate you? I'm such a fucking idiot.
Probably because you were obsessed with me and tried to fuck me repeatedly.
Just like I'm obsessed with you, right, Matt? Everyone's obsessed with you because you're so compelling.
You repeatedly go back to the well on a certain.
All right. I just want to clarify something. Months after any physical contact had ended between you and Matt, you and I and Matt worked together to help you deal with your ex-business partner, correct?
I don't remember the timeline. You guys did help me, and that was greatly appreciated. But
listen, I know you had a messy, stupid, ugly relationship.
Yes. Aurini, please stop calling it a relationship. Can I please get through my fucking story?
All right, go ahead. You had a what do you want to call it? It's a sexual relationship.
Fortunately, I don't remember ever having sex with Matt, and I'm not denying that it happened. Just like I've never accused him of rape. I'm just saying other people have accused him of rape. He's accused himself of raping me and bragged about getting away with it. I did not ever press charges because I did not want to ruin someone's life over something that I didn't remember, I wasn't sure happened. And
Matt claims to have a text from you saying that you read that article and it made you wet and you masturbated to it.
Well, I'm screen sharing text. I'm screen sharing text right now, showing that I moved into Rogers Park before Ann did. Look at the timestamps.
Yes, you did, Matt, and I don't know how
you lied and said that I was stalking you. You said that I moved in after you and I was stalking you. I caught you in a lie here, Ann.
I did not. Shut the fuck up for 10 fucking seconds. Jesus Christ, you can't stop running your mouth ever. I never said that you moved in after me. I told Jim that somehow you figured out where I was moving before I got there. Or maybe it was a coincidence.
You know how I figured out where you were moving? Because you fucking told me when I asked you. And I was shocked because you had moved onto the same block as me. And I was like, that's weird. Is she stalking me? And you know what's?
No, Matt, this projection is
You sound like such a moralist, Matt. You don't sound hate-filled and bitter and angry. You sound like a good person, and everyone around you, like me and her, we're bad people. We're getting it.
If
you're being lied about, if you're hearing blatant falsehoods, then yeah, getting angry is a natural reaction.
Yeah, that's why we're mad at you, Matt.
By the way, Aurini can confirm that you've been telling this lie to him as well, that I moved in after you and that I was stalking you.
I visited you, Anne. You said he moved in after you, like he was in love with you and stalking you.
If I said that, I was incorrect. He moved in before me, but I don't know how he got the information of where I was moving.
Let me clarify. We're going way off.
My birthday party.
Yeah, this is nothing.
Yeah, this is nothing. I don't really think. I think this is all immaterial. The way Ann told me, it's like he was. The question I wanted to ask you, Ann, were you planning to move to this place, and he moved in at the time? Because it could have been a coincidence. I don't know. He's nitpicking about stuff that really is about whether I sent him an email.
I'm putting a 5-minute. You know what, Goat? You got 5 minutes to talk about Matt and Ann having a shitty whatever it was they had.
I don't. Well, here's the thing. I can't comment on it because I wasn't there.
Goat.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody claim that Matt ever raped Sturzinger?
Only Matt.
Matt, did you ever claim that? Yes or no?
Claim what? You cut out there for a second.
Did you ever claim that you raped Sturzinger? Yes or no?
No, I did not claim that I raped her.
Okay, and I've read all your posts. I even read that one about you having awkward sex with her, and I don't remember you ever claiming that. So nobody claims that Matt raped anybody.
Okay, Matt in that archive.is, the thing I read. Are you talking about another girl?
Yeah, the article right there that we've all read. He never claimed.
Are you talking about another girl that you've kept going with? Or were you just lying and talking about an experience that didn't happen?
Goat, only a feminist would call that rape.
So keep going when she says no, I think is legally rape.
You're a wife beater and you deserve to be in prison sucking dick.
No one said anything. What is the correlation you're trying to make here? He said, I'm asking him. He said, there are 3 possibilities here. He wrote an article and then deleted it. He said that
deleted it at her request because he was being polite. Goad, if he is a rapist, then you are a woman beater and you should be rotting in prison, stuck sucking dick.
I'm not the one talking about degeneracy, okay?
Also,
so what you're saying is it's okay to be a degenerate and an idiot.
I'm not saying no, because you're bad at straw man. I'm not saying that.
And change your behavior.
I'm not moralizing about other people's behavior. I'm just showing what a hypocritical, bitter little worm this guy is. That's all.
Hypocrisy is the go-to insult of a scoundrel.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Aurini. You said a feminist definition of rape is she says no, I'm in pain, and you keep. That's just a feminist definition, or is that a legal definition? Because I think you made an error, a thinking error there, Davis.
No, I don't think I did. Rape is when somebody jumps out of the bushes. Okay, can we stop?
That's not. It's when she says no and you keep going. I think that's the legal definition. You can define it how you can have a personal definition, but that is the legal.
Holy fuck! I have to keep using the mute button to get a word in on my own damn podcast. Goat. I've had plenty of girls that said.
Aurini. Don't use my last name. It's disrespectful. I'm Jim. I've always.
And I've had plenty of girls that said no. I kept going, and in 30 seconds they were squirting all over the place. Okay, no, and then there's no. There's 2 different types of no. Everybody that's sane understands that. Only feminists and male feminists don't understand the difference between no and no, but please keep going.
Yes, exactly. And mouth no while she was fucking dragging me over to her place to have sex with her and occupying my time.
I still have not gotten to the end of my story.
Okay, but Anne, isn't the story just the dirty laundry between you and Forney? How is this relevant?
He's the one who's been constantly dragging it out. He claims that I've been gossiping about him. I've been trying to clear up the misconception that I dated him, which is kind of the worst slander that you can come up with about someone. As I told Jim the other day, I did feel some empathy for Matt because he's been picked on. I was picked on in high school too. I feel empathy for other people who were picked on. And he was clearly interested in dating me. I wanted to get away from him, but I was having such a terrible time. I don't know how he got into the mix after my suicide attempt. I tried to drink an entire bottle, and I own all of this shit. He's presenting it like it's some revelation about me that I'm supposed to be embarrassed about.
I got into it because you asked me to get into it.
The reason Matt presents it is because, Anne, when you were going, and there was a lot of people shitting on you at the time, okay? When you were going through that, Matt was the person that showed up and walked you to the shower when he took care of you for a couple of days. And the reason he brings that up isn't to paint himself as some sort of saint. The reason it keeps coming up is to point out that, yes, you might have had a lot of bad stuff in your relationship, but you had some good stuff as well. And Matt was there for you when nobody else was, wasn't he?
Could I please get through my story at some point?
I believe there's a legal document where you do confirm this, but just in your own voice, was Matt stopped you from drinking yourself to death one weekend, didn't he?
Yes, he helped me, but he didn't help me out of pure motives. He expected me to become his girlfriend. And I will fully admit that.
So he had a crush on you. You were one of his favorite writers, and he had a crush on you, and he was trying to help you. And guess what? Men, we think with our dicks. Like, I'm not saying Forney's a saint. I'm saying he's just an asshole like every single one of us. Why do we have to keep digging up this goddamn dirty laundry?
He's the one who's been digging it up all along. I've just been trying to defend myself as I'm doing now, and you guys are just talking.
You're completely full of it.
Shit time. You and Forney, whatever you don't want me to use relationship, whatever your human connection was not healthy and not good, and certainly ended terribly, but there was some good to it, and it was not vile nastiness and psychopathy.
There was some good to it, but can I just tell the story, please?
Just let her finish.
Go ahead.
Where the fuck was I? Yes, I drank a large quantity of alcohol in an attempt to kill myself because of shit that Rachel did. Matt offered to help me out, I thought generously. He kind of tallied up every cent he spent on it. Later, when he came back to my house wanting to be babysat during a bad trip, he actually said, "You owe me." This was long after I didn't want to have anything to do with him.
And you have to. I'll let you finish.
And I did think at certain points, well, I'm 40 years old. My boyfriend just left me for a younger woman. Maybe this is the best I can do. Like, he's not good looking, but I can be forgiving. I can be empathetic about his, being picked on and whatnot. But his behavior was so awful between just the constant manipulation and the telling me, and if I want to figure out a way to dig up our Facebook posts and waste half my life going through them, I can prove this shit too. He would pretend to be neighborly and polite and invite me to his birthday party, and then present me to everyone at his birthday party as though I were his girlfriend. No woman wants to date someone who presents her as a prize.
I did not do that.
You know what? And every single girlfriend I have will write a sworn statement. I have a 2-inch long penis. Okay, it was 8 inches when we were dating, but as soon as we break up, it's 2 fucking inches. I don't know how that works. It just seems to work. Why the hell are we airing the dirty laundry between you two? Is there a point to this? Because this is ugly and pathetic.
Yeah, it's ugly and pathetic. And what's even uglier and more pathetic, is that no one will let me get to the end of the story.
Well, does the story have an end? Because I think what's the point of this? You guys were shitty together.
My point is, all the insults about Matt being fat or whatever are immaterial to his actual character. I considered dating him, yes, but I was on a podcast with him where he would take my research that I had done previous to the podcast and blurt it all out at the beginning of the show as though he had done the research. He would make up statistics on Twitter to get attention. I was just embarrassed to be associated with this person. And that post that he claims I masturbated about, I just ignored it at the beginning because it was painful to me to read that someone that I had trusted was writing about anally raping me in public while I was at an extremely low point in my life. And I totally admit that I was at an extremely low point in my life. I was fucked up. I don't remember a lot of what I said and did at that point. And my perception is that Matt was trying to use this as a way to get a girlfriend. And I even tried, I didn't want to have a relationship with him, but I tried to, I should have been straight up and just said, look, you disgust me, get away from me. But I wanted to be humane. I wanted to.
All right, listen, Anne, is there anything else you want to say? Because you're in a really bad place right now. And this is just ugly.
This is a surreal ending to a surreal week. But Matt has, just like he did with Jim, Matt wrote a bunch of glowing posts about my books, praising me, just like he did with Jim, writing glowing posts about his books, praising him, because he wanted...
Wait, Matt, did you write an article about raping Goad in the ass?
This is germane to what?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how your relationship with Matt Forney is germane to anything. And it was Goad was the one that wanted you on here.
Matt?
Yes. He's making demands. It's 5 a.m. my time. He's the one who got demanded that I appear on a stream with him.
And for
well, Matt, you could have done it a lot earlier your time if you hadn't spent all day trying to think of a way to wiggle out of this.
I was not looking for a way to wiggle out of this.
You started the whole podcast with a really lame attempt to wiggle out of this, what kind of blew my mind. It was a new low even for you.
What else you got to say?
What else have I got to say? Yeah. Where was I before I was interrupted multiple times?
I think you were talking about how you hate Matt Forney and he's terrible in bed and has a 2-inch penis and he's fat.
Yeah, no, I was talking about how Matt, the similarity in the situation is Matt wrote glowing articles about both me and Jim's writing, and then tried to manipulate us into giving him something he wanted. In Jim's case, it was giving his backpacking tour attention, raising his profile as a writer. In my case, it was providing him with a girlfriend that he could hold up to show that his dating advice wasn't a failure and bullshit. When those two things failed, he turned to shitting on both of us. And I really regret keeping my mouth shut all these months while Matt has been shitting all over me, because he took that as an indication that he's going to get away with this behavior and he's going to repeat it on someone else. And that's why I let myself be dragged into this shit show, because I kept my mouth shut and let him get away with it, and then watched as he did the exact same thing to Goad, who has never been anything but pleasant to me, and who...
And I hope things are going to go better for you in the near future. I'm going to kick you off right now. Thanks for being on. Now, Goad, it sounds to me like you brought on a woman that just got raped a couple days ago and is extremely emotional, vulnerable, who happens to be an ex-girlfriend of somebody you're angry at with criticizing you, just to attack him emotionally and drag up his dirty laundry. Why the hell did you bring Ann Sturzinger into any of this? And you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, the record will show that this is the 8th time you've asked me this question. I don't know why you keep asking it. I explained it. What about it don't you understand?
I'm going to repeat your answer. You say, I brought up this incredibly emotionally vulnerable woman to point out that Matt doesn't care about this emotionally vulnerable woman. Well, I think he does care, but he's trying to defend his reputation right now. And he doesn't know whether or not she actually got raped. He doesn't know if you were making it up. This is a really awkward thing to...
Oh, I know. But Davis, have I ever been deceptive with you, to your knowledge? Do you ever feel that I was ever lying to you?
I think you're being pretty deceptive on this.
How?
You're bringing a rape victim on who wasn't even raped by Forney. Like, why are you bringing a rape...
Forney says she raped her. She never said... This has all been... We're going over the same territory.
You say Forney said he raped her. Nobody
No.
else claims that but you.
Forney said it in his own words. I didn't say he raped her. I said Forney said. I'm very careful with my words, Davis. I don't know why you understand. I keep clarifying this, and you don't understand it.
Forney, did you ever say that you raped her?
I did not.
I read
Okay.
the blog post when it came out. I thought it was in poor taste, but I read it. I never said, holy shit, Matt, you raped. No, I read it and said, Matt, this is kind of vulgar. You shouldn't publish this.
Again, everyone, the link one more time to see what I'm talking about. I'm not fabricating it. He deleted it, but it's still in the Wayback Machine. Archive.is, please don't interrupt me. Archive.is, Z, looks like a little O, TKS, that's all capital. Capital Z, lowercase o. Please don't interrupt me. You're
Send me the link. I'll toss it into chat. You're not going to read out a URL on my live stream. Now, quite frankly, Goat, this sounds like one of those weenie white nationalists that claims that Roosh raped women because one time he said she was so hot that even
can I talk? I don't, I'm not taking this from, I wanted to show how he would respond. That's all. I think what happened to her the other night was horrible. I know Matt said if he's not saying it was some other woman, but he said he kept going with them. I'm not condemning him. I'm showing that he was a degenerate according to his own book, and suddenly he's a new person. I don't really think he had any repentance. From what Matt said, he once said that the manosphere to remain relevant must align itself with the alt-right. He island hops from these movements to attach himself. He keeps talking about relevancy. It seems like that's a signal that he's concerned with it. Like I said at the beginning, I don't care if I'm more or less popular than anyone. I don't care about being relevant. I care about writing what interests me. And this is a guy who was 3 years ago bragging about at least fucking some girl and kept going when she said stop. Now he's pointing fingers about all these degenerates and fags, and still his fat ass walks around naked in front of guys in Chicago apartments, according to his friend Edwin Oslin. That's what Edwin told Ann.
Has Forney made a business out of lambasting men who kept going when she said no?
No, I never claimed that. This is pertinent to this situation. That's all.
So how is he a hypocrite?
Who said hypocrite? I said he keeps changing his spots. She was brought on. He's a hypocrite in the sense that he's not what he was 2 years ago, which he wasn't 4 years ago. He keeps changing his spots in that sense.
And they're insincere. That's a hypocrite. That's the definition of a hypocrite. You're calling him a hypocrite. Where is the hypocrisy?
Where did I call him a hypocrite or insincere?
By definition, you described a hypocrite.
Davis, you're very angry. I'm talking calmly. Everyone thinks I'm the hothead, and everyone else is freaking the fuck out. I'm asking you direct questions. Where did I call him a hypocrite?
All right.
Where did I call him a hypocrite?
And once again, I'm going to mute him so I can actually respond. You described him as changing his position and hopping between popular things about not having intrinsic beliefs, about just voicing beliefs to be popular. That definition of a hypocrite. I don't know what you think a hypocrite is. If I say hypocrite, if anyone else says hypocrite, if you look up the dictionary definition of hypocrite, what you described was a hypocrite. That's what you were accusing him of. Now, Forney has not made a career out of
Can I distinguish between hypocrisy and what I'm saying he does? If when he was a manosphere, I think what's hypocritical there is posing as a guy who knows about chicks, because the world laughed when they saw his picture. This is a guy who obviously knows nothing about chicks. I'm accusing him of inconsistency. If he was consistent with his manosphere stuff, he wasn't a hypocrite. If when he became a white nationalist or whatever alt-right, he was talking about white people, giving speeches about white people, if he was consistent at that time, he wasn't a hypocrite. If as a moralist right now, he's not being degenerate or drinking too much, which the Bible is against, he's not a hypocrite. He's just inconsistent. And that suggests, and the key phrase is the one he used, to remain relevant, the alt-right must go with the manosphere. His own behavior shows that he's somebody who really doesn't know what he believes because he keeps changing it as the tides turn. That's all. That's not the definition of a hypocrite. That's someone who's inconsistent. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to clarify.
You know, it really just strikes me that you hated him for years.
No, it's not that deep. I'm like, wow, look at this clown. We've made endless jokes about him. I haven't hated him. And like Ann said, you look at him and you feel, hold on, you've asked me a question. You look at him, you feel sorry. And if Matt wasn't this obvious joke who's self-promoting and changing his spots and very bitter and lashing out, I'd feel sorry for him. I kind of do have a soft spot for underdogs and people that have been picked on. I was always strange. I would have been totally cool to him. This guy's full of bluster and bullshit, though. That's what bothers me. But it's like, okay, this guy I've been mocking and laughing about for years. Like, no, then that gave me a chance to just, I think I've revealed what I intended to. I think my mission is complete here. This is a guy who's very bitter, very shallow, poses a moralist. He's full of shit about that. He's just a bitter person. That's all. I have actually more reason to be, well, maybe not. I've had a lot of happiness in my life and a lot of great times. Maybe Matt's just been miserable his whole life. You look at his face. I don't think I've ever seen him smiling. You look at most pictures of me, I'm smiling. Okay. He accused me of being bitter in that podcast. I think Matt's a lot more bitter than I am. I'm more traumatized probably because I've had a worse life. I think he's more bitter though. And again, I say I think, I'm not accusing him. But from his behavior and the tone of his voice, he's a very charmless and shrill person. That's all.
Fifth grade insults. Fifth grade insults. That's what you got. You pulled up you dragged a supposedly traumatized woman out here.
She volunteered. She said, please, pretty much. Not please, but she's like, she volunteered to me. She's like, you can use all of this. I didn't ask her. I didn't pluck it from her. I made very clear. I asked her, I'm like, I could, she wanted me to. That's all. I didn't exploit her. She made it clear she wanted to. And you could probably, the people who see my face when I'm talking during this horrible segment, since she was drawn on, I'm not here to exploit it. I feel really horrible for what happened the other night. And I hope the guy gets caught. That's all I'm saying. And my plan was to see how Matt would react. And you know what? If Matt had said, holy fuck, you know what? That's all. You show me the police report. You can tell by her mien how she's acting that it happened. And if you want to challenge that, the police reports and the hospital reports will be produced. Right now, you can see the wristband from the hospital, jimgoad.net/ann.jpg. But I really, when this happened, it's like the opportunity was like, here's where I can show what a shallow person he is, because he was more concerned about the high school bullshit than the fact that she just got raped. He called me not sincere. I'm sincere and more hardcore and more to the fucking bone than you will ever be, Matt.
So, in other words, Goad, you came onto my live stream under the premise that you were going to debate Matt Forney, but you had a different motive. Your true motive for coming on here was to get sympathy for Ann Sturzinger for an unrelated rape. That's manipulative and that's dishonest. Her rape has absolutely nothing to do with anything whatsoever, and how I feel about it or how Matt feels about it is utterly irrelevant, and that's cheap.
For the 9th time, the purpose was to show how Matt would react and offered.
And for the 9th time, that was a cheap, emotional, manipulative, sneaky male reaction. You should not have brought a woman that was just raped.
I thought you were a moderator.
Talk shit about her ex-boyfriend. That was.
I did what I did, and I think it was effective, and we can disagree about that. But you're not being a moderator, like I knew you wouldn't. But you still lost because we've been more compelling than you two have. That's all.
It's sneaky. I'm arguing with the devil right now.
Compelling to people who are.
Somebody said Alex McNabb just texted me. He said that someone in the chat called me the satanic Dr. Phil. You believe in the devil, Davis?
I believe in you.
Okay. Well, the 50-foot cock in your mouth. Okay.
You're being sneaky.
For being sneaky. You're not gay, Davis, for being sneaky. She's sneaky. Come on, own up to it, Davis. Everyone talks about it. You're the one who's obsessed with fags and manliness. Don't go there. I was going to be kind to you, but you're being kind of a little dick here, too.
That is
being snake. She was being snaky. What are you, a Paul Lind? You talk gay. Do you know that, right? You talk gay as fuck. You are the gayest talking motherfucker in the world, Davis. The first time you entered my apartment to do that stupid failed movie where you acted like a retard for 2 years, live streaming about it falling apart, I'm like, wow, he talks gay. So I don't talk about degeneracy and what you know about women. Everyone suspects you're gay. Whether that's true or not, I don't care. But don't get snippy with me, Missy.
I accuse you of using manipulative arguments, and your response is to accuse me of being a homosexual.
Wait, you're the one who's accusing us of being obsessed with being gay, dude.
What's this?
You're the one who was accusing us of being obsessed with fags and faggotry, and now you're accusing Davis of being gay?
I think his voice and talking about fags all the time, I think, sounds suspicious to everyone. I think it sounds very suspicious to me and others I've talked to. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Called enunciation.
50-foot cock in your mouth. You talk like you have a 50-foot cock in your mouth, and that's what a girl that I know said. Just throwing that out there. You can think it's manipulative. People can judge in the chat, everywhere else. I'm satisfied with what's happened here. Matt has shown to be the snip goad. Okay, I'll call you Aurini. Like I said, that's disrespectful. Call me by my name. In private, you always call me Jim. Okay, Aurini. How does that feel? Aurini. Hey, Forney.
I usually call him Forney in our private conversations. I prefer.
Shockingly, we don't give a shit about such things.
Don't give a shit about what?
About what name you call us, Matt or Forney. I don't care.
I didn't ask if you cared or not, and it's really I don't care. I don't care that you don't care. So why did you bring it up? How is that pertinent to anything, Matt? You've revealed yourself to be the bitter worm that you are, and my mission accomplished. That's all. You're a fan of mine. I've never been a fan of yours. You can project that I'm obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with making fun at your expense. That's all. I've never thought you were remotely talented or interesting. It's not effort. It's fun. You don't know what fun is. Look at your face. Like I said, show me one picture of you smiling.
I've been living rent-free in your head for years. The fact that you went all this effort is pretty goddamn pathetic. It's like Jordan Peterson blasting some.
You're so fascinating, Matt. You're
subscribers.
You're fascinating because you're such a fucking joke, man. That's all. We've been telling jokes about you.
I made that clear at the beginning. I shouldn't even be important enough for you.
I can't avoid you. You like stop listening to my fucking podcast. I wouldn't think about you every week.
Is an example and point. Who the fuck cares who likes whose podcast? I don't know.
I don't want you listening to my podcast. I don't like you.
I don't
like you.
Podcast. I like
just like it. You like it every fucking week.
I like everyone's shit out of politeness. I've spoken about this publicly.
Yes. Oh, that's good, Matt. That's good.
Everyone
believes that.
Helping defeat algorithms. I do the same thing on YouTube. I've admitted this publicly, which is
naked mole rat.
There you go again with the fifth grade bullshit.
Go ahead.
You never aged past high school.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Matt. Well, compared to you, like I said, you've got a 90-year-old's body. You're going to die of a heart attack within 5 years. So what's the point about all the ages of Matt? I feel like you've never looked well in your life. And that's what makes you such a bitter person. I'm sorry. I don't know any other explanation. You must have been bullied for how you look, and it affected your personality. What else?
Goad, you called Matt a bitter person. Well, earlier you said, I never speculate as to what somebody's like on the inside. I only describe their behavior. You have repeatedly claimed to have interior knowledge of Matt's.
No, I'm talking about his mean. I said, I use these words, Davis. Pay attention. Okay, I said his mean, his behavior. He's snapping. Everyone can hear in his voice. Show me a picture search Matt Forney. Find one picture of him smiling. One. Tacky Theodorakopoulos, who runs Tacky Matt. Every fucking picture. That guy is sloshed off his ass and looks like he's had every picture you've ever seen of Tacky. He's smiling. Matt, even the drinking doesn't make him happy. I think, I'm not reading what's inside his mind. He doesn't smile. I think you can infer from that he's bitter, and just the tone of his voice. If he's sunshine inside, he needs to realign how it comes off, because he seems very bitter to me. Is that better?
I don't smile because the average man looks retarded when he smiles.
You look retarded just walking out of the... you can't look retarded out of the crib.
You would look better if you didn't smile, Goad.
One of the things I hate, I love America, but one of the things I really dislike about America is how they smile these shit-eating grins constantly. Look, I'm taking it. Stop smiling, assholes. If you gotta have a little bit of an asshole smirk like I do.
Or that you're thinking about a 50-foot cock. I don't know. I don't know your thoughts. But anyway, I'm talking about Matt. I think you are smiling in something. I've never seen. Matt looks very unhappy. People can tell someone's emotional state by their facial expressions. I've always seen him very
my
miserable.
Emotional state based on what? Like a dozen pictures? You've never
every
met
picture.
me.
Every picture I've ever seen is the same.
I make it a point to not smile because I don't like it when people smile in pictures. It looks retarded.
But otherwise, you're a very happy person. Is that what you're telling us? Because it's not coming through in your voice either.
I don't claim to be happy. Happy is a fleeting emotion. I'm content most of the time. Happiness is something that comes and goes, okay? I don't pursue happiness because guess what? People who pursue happiness end up on drugs or try to kill themselves. It's a
Do you drink? Do you still drink?
I drink occasionally.
How often do you drink, Matt?
Like once every 2 weeks.
And do you get drunk?
Once every couple of months.
Once every couple of months. Well, how's that not a drug?
I have...
And why are you morally judging alcohol, in my experience, has been more destructive to more people than any other drug, any other intoxicant. You're moral fagging about people who do other intoxicants while you get drunk.
I don't drink.
That's a hypocrite right there.
I used to drink far more than I did, and I have more or less stopped it. Basically, the only time I
What
drink
about the eating? What about the eating, Matt? Let's talk about that. You're not happy you're stuffing your face then. Why are you eating so much?
I'm at the lowest weight I've been in 4 years.
So what, 400?
92 kilograms.
92. That sounds a lot less than what it actually is.
That is about 203 pounds.
92 kilograms is 203 pounds? Yeah, how tall are you?
I am 5'10". I'm still overweight, but guess what? I'm working on that.
How many women he's had sex with next? Like, Goad. Come on, what the fuck's your point here?
I think the 50-foot cock thing got you angry, so maybe we should wrap this up, Aurini. You know, I've been sitting on that line for fucking years, and Hunter came up with that one. Thank you, Hunter. She said, "Man, he talks like he's got a 50-foot cock in his mouth," and I think that's hilarious. So obviously you're rattled. Maybe we should wrap this up, unless you think they could go somewhere else.
Thanks for being on, buddy. Got lots of views, not enough super chats though.
Okay.
Forney, you got any? Fuck. There's a reason I've been dreading this all week.
Well, if Anne has been raped, and you know what? Pardon me for not taking a woman at her word directly, particularly someone who has done so much wrong to me. And to be perfectly honest, Davis, I'm kind of disappointed that you kicked her off because pretty much everything she said that was a lie or a half truth. But I don't want to. I get why you did it though.
I knew
if she has been raped, my sympathy is with her. Having said that, Goad is not interested in comforting a raped woman. If that was his goal, he wouldn't have trotted her out like a fucking zoo animal. And you know what? I don't. You know, he seems to think this is some kind of kill shot. All it's shown is that, and again, I'm kind of disappointed you kicked him off as well because I want to. You know, I don't care about him. I'm not intimidated by him or his threats. Okay. It shows that he's a man without principles. It really does. Like I said, when he started trotting out the whole Anne thing, like his entire shtick, going back to Shit Magnet, was, oh, I never take a woman at her word, you know, and he was complaining, and I think he has some legitimate grievances there, that he went to prison in part because everyone took the word of his crazy ex over his. Well, we just saw him taking the word of an insane woman over mine, violating that fundamental principle of his own writing. And that's all I have to say about this. Let the chips fall where they may, and let the chips fall where they may.
Listen, the people that just like entertainment and endless anger, you know, they're going to think that Goad won this because he called me a fag and he called you fat. Ergo, he won. People that care about character, maybe not consistency, because you get older, you make a hypocrite of yourself. You know, you make a mistake, you're like, no, that was stupid. I shouldn't do that anymore. And you tell your kids, don't smoke pot. I smoke pot. I screwed up 3 years of my life on that stuff. So I guess you're a hypocrite. Well, okay, but at least I have some character out of the whole damn thing.
I said that this thing would be entertaining, and I'm sure it was. People thought it was entertaining. That's what I promised about it, and it was.
Purveyor of Mercy points that out. There were a lot of ad hominem attacks here. I guess Goad's angry at God. We failed to provide a justification for why he shouldn't be, so he's probably still angry at God. But, we're fags and losers, so he wins. Right?
I'm sure he's going to Twitter right now talking about how he how you were biased against him, which I'm sure was his plan all along.
Oh, probably. The fact that he was acting like my buddy and then he just turned on me at the last. Like, he's been sending me.
Actually, here's something a friend just sent me on regards to this debate. Drawing a much higher player still jumps your rating a shitload. Whereas a Israeli commentator said with regards to the war between the IDF and the Hezbollah, if a lightweight draws a heavyweight, the lightweight won. Like I said, Goad diminished his reputation by even doing this. Like I said at the beginning, I'm a nobody, and he should have ignored me. The fact that he didn't means that he already took hits for this.
Well, just like we got a commenter here saying Forney and Davis could not back up any claims made against Uncle Jim. What claims did we make against him? All he did was he claimed that you raped a woman, which she came on and said, no, he never raped me. He called me a faggot. He called you fat. Well, you are kind of fat for him, but you're down a lot. You're getting.
I own it. I
yeah.
own the fact that I'm fat.
Yeah. So, what claims do we make about him that we failed to prove? I don't know. Some people like dialectic, others like empty rhetoric.
Like I said, I'm sure you all were entertained by this.
Well, that was a fun way to spend a Friday night. Guys, thanks for listening. I hope you at least had some entertainment from all of this. I'm going to go back to hanging out with my dog. God bless all of you. Deus Vault. This is Aurini out.